6 tackles as well. He's been averaging 33 a game. Out of contract at the end of the year, so he's hoping that he can crack back into that Cats team toward the back end of the season and keep his AFL career rolling along. A little bit more standard run-outs tonight for these two teams at VFL level. The Pies side of things, Goldie, Mitch Padaski, he's had a chance at AFL level this season, of course, taken in the mid-season draft out of Coburg, kicked 5 last week.
Yeah, he just did what he does best last week in kicking lots of big bags of snags. So he's going to look to keep trying to put pressure on, trying to get his AFL back in that AFL side after only having 1 key forward kicking goals last night. And he's also got one eye probably on the Frosty Miller medal, only 4 goals behind with 3 to play.
Yeah, Corey Ellison in action tonight for Frankston as well. They take on Port Melbourne down at Frankston. Also, Jack Buller kicked 2 goals 5 last week, so they were a formidable pairing up front. And Jai Saxena probably played his best game. Again, another rookie, 3 goals, 18 disposals, kicked 3 goals 1. He's just had a couple of little troubles finishing off his work this year, but a great performance from him last week against the Saints.
Yeah, the NGA prospect, he's got a lot of the capabilities to be a really good player at AFL level, and I think the main thing for him is just having those shots. Yes, he needs to finish off the goals, but just the opportunity to actually get shots on goal is a great start, and he seems to be developing really well. One
of 16 AFL listed players in this Collingwood team tonight. The Cats have got 12, and it includes the likes of Jack Bowes, who's played 150-odd games at the level. JJ, Sam de Koning's played 102. Jed Hughes has played 175. There's plenty of experience out here for the Cats.
Yeah, there is. And, I mean, even at the other end of the spectrum, that's part of the reason why the Cats have been so good this year. They have had a bit of a revolving door with those senior players. Buse has been there for most of the season, but the players that have been able to come back, and that's part of the management that Chris Scott talks about with their AFL group. Sam de Koning knows he's not going to be at VFL level for long, maybe 1 week. So come back, enjoy your footy, pressure off, playing a team that's really performing well. But at the other end of the list for both teams, this is a crucial time for those guys who may not be guaranteed a contract for next year. So make sure you play good footy, finish off the season strong, and leave a really positive impression on not only your club, but the other clubs that are watching.
Now you see the ladder. So the Cats have cleared out on top there. 3.5 games clear of Werribee, who are next best. And then that absolute logjam at the bottom end of the wildcard spots as well. So plenty of teams in that mix. Collingwood a little bit further afield than that, having gone through a mid-season lull in their form down in 17th. But winners of their past 2, and pretty good wins as well over the Kangaroos and St Kilda. So they come into this game in pretty good form to the Pies, and their game over their past 5 weeks has been in reasonable shape. So they will be testing material for the Cats tonight, who have already signed up the minor premiership and are looking to roll into the finals in fine fettle indeed. Geelong and Collingwood, VFL action at GMHBA Stadium. We'll get stuck into it all on the other side of this. Friday night footy in the Pivot City, Geelong and Collingwood in VFL action. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins, Todd Goldstein and Alexia Pesce with you. And this Geelong team, they have been absolutely dominant so far this season. As we said, winners of their past 12, 15-1 on the campaign. Their only loss came back in round 4 against the Bulldogs. A 33-point loss. You just look at their recent form line. A 58-point win, 113-point win, 42, 32, 82, 26 and 53. A close game last week against Casey. And they blew the Demons off the park in the second half. So they've got a lot of riches, this Geelong VFL side. And they are going beautifully at the moment and applying themselves fantastically well. Sam Swadling's an interesting case, JJ, in really good form. He spent some time at AFL level, dropping back to VFL last week and again this week. Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see from him. Close enough to 30 disposals. Like to see these score involvements come up a little bit. Probably like to see those doubled should Collingwood play a good game of footy here this evening. So he's around the mark. Just got to continue to put up good numbers, play the role that you're being asked to play, and hopefully your chance will come. There'll be plenty of eyes on him tonight, Sam Swadling, including maybe those at match committee with a couple of injuries coming out of last night. With a little bit more on that, let's say a very good evening and welcome to Alexia Pesce. Lex.
Hello from ground level here at Geelong. Joel, you just touched on it there. This week in his weekly press conference, Craig McRae mentioned Sam Swadling. He said, this is a player we want in our side. Well, Sam, now's the time to prove it with Harry Perriman going out last night with a hamstring injury. The club has confirmed he had a scan this morning. They'll know more on his timeline on Tuesday. The club has a break until then. They don't play until Sunday. They play West Coast next week. So, Sam, it's time to prove that you can walk your way into the AFL side. Now, just quickly, Collingwood have made a late change. Jayath comes out of the side with injury. We'll follow that one up as to what it actually is. And it's the former Demon, Tajboy Woden, who'll take his place. As for the conditions down here at ground level, sunny and blue skies, not a drop of wind. You never hear it much in Geelong. We'll certainly take it for this afternoon's match. Thank you, Lex. Beautiful evening down by Corio Bay. What a stunning part of the world it is, JJ. Yeah, magnificent, particularly East Geelong, where we reside. Trying to do a little bit of work on the property prices in that part of the world. The Cats looking for a 13th straight win. The Pies for a third. Some young guns going head-to-head in the midfield. Sam Swadling lining up against George Stevens. De Koning in ruck for Geelong. Harry Coe, the mid-season draftee for the Pies. And Nevitt gets us going with a handball out wide to Bowes. Crashing through Zach Stevens. Gives it away. And now the Pies can take control. Will Hayes has dealt with injury throughout the course of the season. Brown pounces on the loose footy. Sam Swadling with the Nick Dacos-style handball blindly over his head back into the corridor. And the big Roo hits up. Big Illaroo Smith drops it onto his left peg into the pocket. Looking for Buller. Swadling retreats now to Gray. The set-up kick. Big mark from Smith. Well, what a start. Big mark from a big man. He wasn't as keen from outside 50, Goldie. He's a good-looking individual. Big, strong arms. Not as in love with the tattoo, but the other side of him looked fantastic. But if he can start the game in style after taking a mark like that, he will be on his way. Just get some website traffic to bigroo.au as well, JJ. Our favourite site here on Fox's VFL coverage. He comes in, strikes it with his left peg and sneaks it home. And that is a perfect start for the Pies. It was a nice pluck inside 50, Goldie. It was lovely hands. And it was also just great build-up play there by Sam Swadling. Two really nice handballs to play to put his teammates into space and to allow the Big Schmidt to take those marks. So it was a great start by his Pies side. Yeah, good mark from him. Of course, the veteran presence of Kolajasny and Buse down back, but they don't necessarily have size. You can see there, Kolajasny always gives away a lot of height and reach. So body on body, Kolajasny will be fine, but if Smith can get up and at the footy, he'll get an advantage. First VFL game for Kolajasny since round 2. Now Sullivan out of the middle. Drives it deep for the Pies. Standing in front, Hoffman. Smith's there again. That time at ground level. He can't shape that one home. Would have been some kind of start for him. Just not quite balanced enough to get that around the corner.
Jed Buse to bring it out of defence. The experienced Cat.
Always missed that.
Dangerous kick. Not his best effort. Scooped up by Zach Stevens. And they can come off half-back. Hart. Zach Stevens continues to run. Kicks down the line. Looking for Ballantyne, who's put together a terrific season in Cats colours. He'll be a contender for the VFL Round medal at the end of the season, which is basically a ticket to the AFL. The winners of that award at VFL level have gone on to do some really good things in recent times. A gang tackle from Stephen and from Josh Brown. From Sullivan, I should say, and Josh Brown.
Important period for Nevitt. I reckon other clubs having a look at him. Can he be an AFL player? We know he can dominate at VFL level, so really important period for him.
25th pick in the 2021 draft. Mitch Nevitt had the headgear on last week after copping a knock at Casey. Harry Coe kicks to the edge of the 50. Emerging is Bowes. Hand pass to Hunter Holmes. Bowes back along the boundary line. Didn't have a lot to go to by hand. Ryan stood in the way. And then the Pies turn it over. Nevitt's kick to half forward. Stretching was Mellor, showcasing his athleticism. Nice handball from Nevitt to Stevens. He can give it a whack, George Stevens, and he does it very nicely there. And the Cats get their first to tie it up.
It's crisp, isn't it? Really crisp ball movement. Wasn't super clean. The ball hit the ground a couple of times, but it's the ability to hit the key handballs, Goldie, at the key moments. These two left-hand handballs going toward 50. It was really impressive from Mellor. The quick recovery, bang, that handball hits the target, and then bang, that handball hits the target, and Stevens does the rest.
It's his ability to get their teammate into space, which is the key to any good goal kicking, any good skill execution, is just that little bit of extra space for your teammate to put him on his way.
George Stevens, he's always been able to find plenty of the footy. Coming out of South Warrnambool and the Greater Western Victoria Rebels. Did a lot of work on his fitness since he came to Geelong.
He's a good size.
And he can absolutely thump the footy. He is a legit 60-metre kick when he can lay into them. Nevitt out of the middle for Geelong. Drives it deep. Mark to Pike. Plays on to Malla. Two in no time at all. And that's what this Cats team is capable of.
Yeah, power. Centre bounce clearances just so important. And Goldie, you'd spend so much time. I mean, the ruck component is only one part of it. Taccone doesn't even really get his hands on the footy. So much time from midfielders spent on owning the back shoulder. Ball spills out. If you can get the ball deep from a centre bounce, that's what can happen.
Yeah, and more you see midfielders, that anyone that's caught on the inside, it's almost a no-go zone because it's so easy for your opposition to find that space and execute really well on the 6-6-6 rule.
Two quick ones to the Cats. Alexia Pesce, you've got a little bit more news on that late change for the Pies.
Yes, that's two, Jayath. He's been a late out with hamstring soreness. The Pies obviously taking no risk with injuries.
Thanks, Lex. Saw him out there in the warm-up as well, so a very late change for the Pies. Bowes spinning through. Nevitt will just whack it inside forward 50 again. Big Joe Pike's the target again. Mellor almost ended up with it again. Ryan in defence for Collingwood. Parker was clean. Falkhead back to Parker. Close to the boundary line they operate off half-back. Parker in line for another handball. Had a pinch from him that time. Nevitt by hand this time, looking for Bowes. Scooped up by Coe. Sullivan trying to step his way through. Tumbles it along the Hickey stand side in the sunshine. Jed Buse wobbles his kick back inside 50. Straight to Parker, and he wants to start the counter-attack in an aggressive fashion. And he slots it straight down the throat of Caperon, the Cats captain. Operating behind the footy. Spent time at both ends throughout the course of the year. 18 goals on the season for Daniel Caperon. Bowes to fall forward. Mellor the target. Desperate in defence, the Pies. And Steele flicked it up to Ryan, who was buffeted off the footy. Jacob Ryan, one of those Pies who's out of contract at the end of the season. 4th year on the list. Just played the one game in that time. Consistent ball winner for them throughout the course of the season. One of their key interceptors down back. Prindable gets dragged down by Nevitt.
Be interesting to see how much you see from Collingwood last night in the AFL game. Once they got aggressive through the middle part of the ground, they cut Geelong open. So you'd imagine the method will be the same here in the VFL contest.
For the most part, their system over the back end of the season at AFL level's been terrific. Their transition game's been absolutely on point. Swaddling, Saxena, back to Swaddling. Prindable, now a downfield free kick. Volkhead inside forward, 50! Padaski came out, couldn't take it with him. Going through there was Landy. Di Mattia, Padaski with a squaring kick. It just sat up awkwardly in the end there for Marnie. Couldn't make it work. Steele back with the flight. He ends up with it. And Rowan Steele, another that Craig McRae called out in his press conference during the week as being someone they like the look of. Has got a shot here to tie it up from 40 out.
Just clever from Sullivan. Saw Steele and saw the space, probably saw the space more so than his teammate. Just put it and laid it over the top like a quarterback, just dropping that ball in the bucket for Steele to go and fetch it.
Just the 2 games at VFL level this season for Rowan Steele. 1 goal. He doesn't add to that tally there. First minor score of the afternoon. 15 games at AFL level for Steele, one of a few WA products out there for the Pies. Hughes dashes off half-back, kicks down the line. Easily cut out by Big Bryn Teakle. Kicks it straight back. Caperon floats into mark. Looks for a wide option. De Koning presents up. Had the old concrete hands there as he tried to mark that one. Just bounced off them. Big tackle by Teakle. And it's locked up on the outer side.
Can't blame the son there to Koning because it's behind him. So just potentially thought some contact was coming there.
Prindable flicks the handball into the corridor. Parker was taken down in the tackle by Jed Henderson. Another South Warrnambool product in this Cats team, a few of them. 2-time premiership player down in the Hampton League is Henderson. Wobbly kick up to half forward. Jack Buller was marking everything last week. He continued in that fashion. Sullivan kicks to the pocket. And outworked there was Marnie. Well read by Lennox Hoffman. Just to cut it back inboard. Of course, Hoffman with Swiss descent in his family, so he was NGA eligible to St Kilda. They elected not to go down that route in his draft year. Second season on the Cats list. Zach Stevens up the line. Mallow showcasing his wares early in this one. Do a little bit of everything. Kicks to the pocket. Cats everywhere. And that is a gift for Ballantyne.
Talk about a breakdown there, Goldie. Not sure. There were 2 Cats free inside 50. Lewis was down there as well, and not sure how they weren't spotted. Ballantyne gets a really nice opportunity. Most players would go around the corner from here, but we're going to see the traditional drop punt.
I'm more of a traditionalist. I like this style.
28 goals on the season, so he knows how to finish his work.
Should have snapped it.
One.
Just shows the importance of those contested marks, though.
Yeah.
As soon as that one was taken, that allowed all the aggressive defence of Collingwood just to be caught out of place.
Just really turns a slow play immediately into fast play, doesn't it? Contested marks in between the arcs. They are so valuable for teams who have been held up, and they can instantly go fast again.
Late change, Woden, as Lex told us, in for 2 Giath. Cochrane. Now a little bit of run. Comes from Landy. That's fitting. Kick up toward half forward. Pike in the contest. Padaski there as well. Hughes throws a boot at it. Good work there from Landy. It was a nice gather in traffic. And they get the entry out the back. Buller, the race is on. Steele in the right spot. It bounced his way, and he punches it through for the second for Collingwood.
Looks like we're going to have a game. Both teams able to transition the footy from end to end, and Steele's found space inside 50 a couple of times. Probably should have kicked his set shot. It's just both players, Collingwood and Geelong there, misread the flight of the footy, just travelled a little bit further, and Steele was the quickest one to read that footy out the back. He's made a promising start. Swadlingham has had the 5 disposals. Sullivan already up to 8, and Jack Bowes 7 early for the Cats.
No surprise to see Jack Bowes featuring heavily with the footy early on. Scores tied through 13 minutes at 13 apiece. Nevitt with another piece of it in the middle of the ground. Off to Nick Driscoll. Kicks up toward half forward. Ballantyne presented up at the footy. He was dragged down by Noah Howes. A good matchup between Ballantyne and Howes. Schmidt and Pike do battle in ruck. Saxena tries to keep it alive. Throwing himself at it is Lockie Wiedemann. Dragged down was Driscoll. Appeal for the free kick, and it will be.
Just tried to lift the arms and rise through that tackle, Driscoll, so can understand what the umpire saw and probably agree. The free kick count looks a little bit like last night, Joel. 5-zip.
Will Phillips with the free kick. Some contact off the footy there. It'll go to Geelong. So there you go, JJ. Just a 7 at AFL level for Geelong last night. Described as really strange by Chris Scott.
Didn't feel I was there, and it didn't feel like the Cats were hard done by, but to only receive 7, I mean, that's almost record-breaking stuff.
Particularly at home when you think you might get a little bit more of rub of the green.
Yeah.
Ryan, short to Teakle. Out of the back edge of the square. Try and chain it out. Woden. Ryan on the overlap. That's not his best. Hand to it there from Holmes. The Cats are away. Ballantyne charges out. Can't take it with him. Well done, Zach Stevens. Lays the tackle on Big Bryn. In fact, it was Hayes. They're about 20 centimetres difference and look nothing alike. A good smother there from Brown on the kick from Nevitt.
Geelong, like always, they're setting up their defence really well. Collingwood have found it really hard to pick through by foot. The only time they've really looked dangerous when they've been able to get the ball live through handballing chains.
Most difficult team to score against this season, Geelong. They concede a goal from just 20% of their opposition inside 50s. Score from only 39% of those opportunities. Pies will get a good look at it here. Woden inside the forward 50. Marnie takes the mark, turns immediately and drills it. Pies back on top.
Love it. Love the confidence as well to take that mark and just decide to go. Max Marnie, sharp, plenty of space. That looked like the AFL team of the last 5 or 6 weeks. The slingshot off half-back. You got runners in 2s and 3s, and Marnie had all the space in the world inside 50 and played on, backed himself, finished with class.
8 goals for the season from Max Marnie. Played 17 games last year. This is his 10th of the campaign. 20-year-old out of Mansfield in the Goulburn Valley League. And he hands Collingwood the lead. Big Joe Pike, the local product, against Dillaroo Schmidt. Bowes is after it. Landy. Brown spinning his way through, spun into trouble, got caught, had to be holding the ball. And not even the really strange going on of last night would have stopped that one being paid. Stevens whacks it inside the 50. De Koning operating up there, had it bounce off his chest. We'll get another look at it here. Fast hands over the top. Bounce just eluded Hunter Holmes. He's going to be a free kick to Collingwood. And Swadling can cruise out of defence. As Lex mentioned earlier, he'll be in the frame for a potential recall with that Harry Perryman injury. Padaski down the line, and well cut out by Caperon.
Yeah, well read. Just looked like Tom Stewart there, just taking front position down the line, in line with the footy and taking the intercept mark.
Got to have a headband and a shoulder taped up to look like Tom Stewart as well, don't you?
I wish I was selling headbands down in the Geelong area. Tell you what, you do a trade.
Make an absolute killing. Wiedemann kicks to the edge of the 50, and Lewis got outmarked. Noah Howes. So strong in defence for this Pies team.
Nice.
And here's a good mark again from Caperon.
Just a little bit of kick to kick at the moment. Just trying to get it off the line here, the Cat skipper, but not a lot on. So just the last 2 or 3 minutes, it's just been straight line stuff.
Experienced campaigner. Been doing it a long time. He almost tried to kick it back to Howes as well. Lewis read it well off hands, jabs it inside the 50. And Parker floats in to pick it off. 21 last week for Parker, 7 inside 50s, 7 intercepts. So a little bit of work at either end of the ground. Gallops off halfback, sends it wide. Over the head of Saxena. Hughes and Phillips can't keep it in.
Good time of the year to trial young players in different positions, particularly from the Collingwood perspective. They haven't had the season they would have liked at VFL level, and just find out, can a young player who's spent most of the year in the forward line, can they do something down back? Can they go and play in a wing? It's a really good opportunity to learn a bit about your list.
Swaddling the clearance to Prindable. Now Brown dashes away. Taking on the tackle there was Woden. Did it nicely in the end. He looked like he might have been pinged. Falkhead drives it inside the 50. Buller! Doesn't have a hold on it in the end. Caperon with them every step of the way, and then completes the deal with the tackle.
Bit stiff there, Buller. I've seen much less than that paid a mark, so a bit unlucky there, I think.
Took 6 contested marks last week, Jack Buller.
Got a sore finger. He's going to come from the ground, so perhaps dislocated that finger in that marking contest.
Did a Matt Guelphy action. Falkhead throws it on the outside of the boot. Just didn't have the curve. At least he didn't do it in a fight.
At least this was in a football act.
Although I'm not sure how Jeremy Howe managed to bust his arm last night, but it looked like it might have been in somewhat of a scrimmage. So it's going around that method of injury. Exiting kick from the Cats will bounce out into the sunshine, where Rory Gunser is pushed over the boundary line.
That's generally why I tried to head in the opposite direction during any skirmishes that were going on. Just for injury prevention.
Yeah, that was the only reason?
That was the only reason.
Okay.
JJ is probably the same.
And the risk of a fine.
That was probably more your method, wasn't it, JJ?
No point giving the AFL 1,500 back.
Audible spike from Joe Pike. He was like a blocker at the net in volleyball as he went up with the 2 hands there. Good tackle from De Koning to wrap up Parker. Sam De Koning, emergency for AFL level again this week. Gray. Experience of Brady Gray in the long sleeves, and again Swaddling's involved in the chain to move it forward. They all stopped in front of him, so he had some time to operate in. Little give and go. Neat kick to the edge of the 50 to Phillips. This is a good spot to launch from, and Phillips will make the most of it. Padaski hitting up hard.
Yeah, nice. It's always found the 50-metre arc at GMHBA Stadium a genuine 50. It might even be 51 because it just doesn't seem to travel as far down there. So really good idea just to try and pinch 5, 6, 10 metres if you can, and Padaski on a nice lead into a pocket of space now. A 50-metre kick from him will do the job.
As Goldie said earlier, he's 4 behind Corey Allison in the Frosty Miller medal race. 5 last week. He won't add to his tally there. 42 goals, 30 on the season for Mitch Padaski in both Coburg and Collingwood jumpers.
imagine that would never have been done. A player would win the goal kicking award having kicked a certain amount of goals for one club and a certain amount for another. Got you on the hop there, haven't I?
Absolutely, you have.
Just say no, it hasn't happened.
I can find an answer. Well, I'm not willing to say it hasn't
Surely
happened.
not.
It's unlikely.
Liam McMahon nearly won the goal kicking at 2 different clubs in the 1 year when he came to Essendon.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess if you're good enough to be leading the goal kicking and get drafted, you're probably playing for the club that drafts you. Brown will whack it inside the 50. Killian Burke, the Irishman, tries to get it out of there. Awkward hand pass to Koning, and then Caperon was taken high. Yeah, the umpires do manage to sort that out. There's Jack Buller on the bench as well, so Collingwood by 8 points. Lewis through the middle of the grounds. Nice kick, expansive kick from Burke. Now Henderson. Ballantyne couldn't mark, opposed to Cochrane, gets on his left, beautiful delivery. That is outstanding vision and presence from Jamison Ballantyne. And Jack Bowes floated into the hole.
I just love the ball movement, getting it off the traffic line. This first quarter, most of the 23.5 odd minutes we've seen has been long down the line for both teams. A little bit of slingshot stuff from Collingwood, but Geelong getting the ball off the traffic line. It then allows players to catch up, and once they took possession, step back inside, Bowes was able to fill a little pocket of space.
You see the numbers last week for Jack Bowes. 34 and 11. Huge season. Kicks from right on the 50 and drills it. He's done that with consummate ease as he tries to press his case for an opportunity either in the hoops or elsewhere.
Yeah, what do you reckon his best position is, Bowes? He's played some wing, he's played some half back, he's played some mid. I mean, clearly it's obvious at VFL level he's a gun inside mid, but where do you reckon you'd settle him if you're a new club looking for him?
I mean, it's hard to break into the Geelong midfield with the players they've got in there. So I do think someone with his ability to use the ball, I do think he's not a bad half-back player, but clearly in the midfield is his most comfortable spot and where he's putting up all these huge numbers.
He's going to be a player of interest at season's end. Lex, an update on Jack Buller?
He's gone back out there now, so no concern, but he has gone back out there with his fingers heavily taped.
Might get an opportunity to try and latch onto one here. Kick fell just short of him. He crashes the pack anyway. Saxena with an unconventional hand pass. Worked out nicely from Sullivan. And Harry Di Mattia, who's been operating as a forward in recent weeks, he gets his look at the big sticks.
Second time, Sullivan inside 50, just really nice ball use. Crafty, creative, and great vision. That was even better than the first where he popped it over the top. That was a really nice kick, a flat, hard kick that only Di Mattia could mark.
So for the instant response, Di Mattia pushes it across the face. 3-point advantage to the Pies.
It's only the second bounce, centre bounce clearance by Collingwood, but both times they put themselves in position to score.
Hughes into Holmes. Younger brother of Max. Hunter Holmes kicks outside the defensive 50. Printable crashes through. Did that have a hand on it from Saxena? Umpires don't believe so. Mitch Nevitt. Disposal number 8 in the opening quarter. A couple of clearances out of the middle in there as well. Up the line. Joe Pike floated in. Push there from Driscoll on Landy. Nick Driscoll has to toss the footy back to Josiah Landy. It's on the left foot, into the corridor. Sullivan made it work. And a hand in there from Hayes. Landy's kicks a dribbler inside the 50. Hoffman's wrapped up by Saxena. Landy tried to emerge with it right at the last moment, but the umpire blew it dead. Pies with the first, Geelong with the next 2 goals. Collingwood then kick back-to-back goals, and the Cats have hit back. They haven't trailed too many times at quarter time this season, Geelong. Ahead in 11 of their 16 games at quarter time. Collingwood have led at quarter time in just 4 of their 15 matches so far this season. Stevens can't free the footy. Swadling's been very busy early into double figures for his disposal tally. Seen this a few times with Geelong this year. They get challenged early. They've always found a way to kick away late. The Pies are in the fight thus far. Ryan did well. Works it out with Cochrane. Back to Teakle. Driscoll had a hand to it. Holmes read it really nicely off hands, and then the inside-out kick was no good. It was an absolute sack into the lap of Brady Gray, who gets us to quarter time, and it will be Collingwood who are ahead for just the 5th time at the end of one all season. A massive challenge at GMHBA Stadium against the red-hot Cats. The minor premiers have been up to it so far. At quarter time, it's the Pies by 3. One quarter in the books in Geelong. Illaru Smith got things off to a fast start for Collingwood. The first goal of the game within a minute. The Cats hit back. George Stevens among the goal kickers. Jesse Mellors had a lively opening term, but it is Collingwood who lead at quarter time for just the 5th time all season by 3 points over Geelong. The minor premiers already locked that away in this VFL season. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins, Todd Goldstein, Alexia Pesce with you. VFL Footy here on Fox. Sam de Koning in this Geelong team. You can see him there at the back of the huddle and had a couple of moments in that opening term, JJ and Goldie, that were a little bit curious in terms of his marking the ball up forward.
Yeah, I mean, put the first one down and I mentioned it in the call, just wondering whether he was looking for a bit of contact. And then the second one is, okay, let me just try and get an easy one on the chest, and that one bounced off it. He's a bit of a confidence player, Sam. When he's up and about, you got to sort of push his buttons to bring out the competitive side in him. And once you can bring that out, well, we know how good he can be.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's just this change of position in terms of ruck forward now rather than where he's been most comfortable is playing that back line, as you said at the start, whether that's just throwing his confidence a little bit and whether it'd be better just to go back to the back end of the field.
Yeah, I used to remind him it was a lot easier in defence than in the forward line. Easy to clench a fist and punch the footy over the boundary line. But he's one of those guys where he's very relaxed, very laconic. I think Tom's similar. I don't know Tom as well, but Sam's a guy that you really need to push his buttons. You need to bring out the competitiveness in him. And when you can, and we've seen what type of player he can be. At his absolute best, I think he can be one of the better key defenders in the game, particularly a guy that plays on those 6'7", 6'8", forwards, but you know, from time to time he can just be a bit relaxed.
See him at VFL level for the first time since the back end of the 2024 campaign. Sam de Koning, 8 goals in his 102 AFL games before today. Let's get the Geelong side of things with Lex.
I do have the Cats coach alongside Big Mark Corrigan. Mark, they've challenged you really, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. They've brought great contest pressure. They've been able to win that battle on us and then get forward really aggressively on us. So we've got a challenge on our hands. And
the risk of getting complacent, I mean, you've locked up the minor premiership, 12 wins in a row. How do you stop that?
Yeah, we talk about that every game. It's an opportunity for us to be unconditional in the way we go about it, and today's no different.
All right, good luck in second quarter.
Thanks, Lex. Thanks to Mark. Yeah, they have locked up that minor premiership, and they're not shy about reminding Collingwood about it. They've got it on the scoreboard in the forward pocket at the Bowen River end, and they're just going to keep it there, just so Collingwood know for the entirety of the game exactly how good this Geelong team is.
I like that. I like that. I mean, you don't get a lot for winning the minor premiership, do you? So you may as well remind everyone that you've got it locked up with a few to go.
And they've got a few weeks to enjoy it as well, so you may as well lap it up.
Yeah. They've got a bye still in their season. Geelong, North Melbourne to finish in a couple of weeks' time. Second term underway. Pies by 3 points. And again, it's the Cats who get us going. Jack Bowes, busy as always. He's on the end of the kick from Jack Stevens. Tried to measure it. And Noah Howes puts his fist through that with some venom into the stand.
And he did. Might have to go and fetch it themselves. No, that ball ricocheted and came back. That's just the modern day defender, isn't it? Howes came off his opponent, came forward, saw a Geelong player in space and put that ball over the fence.
I think I've asked this question earlier in the season. I don't know whether the boys on Bounce and the Golden Fist look at the VFL footage, but Gazy, if you're watching, just get that in on Sunday night. In that particular segment, do something, Drewy.
On Sam de Koning, that first centre bounce this quarter was a much more aggressive jump, so it's a better start to this quarter for him.
It's Todd Goldstein, 2015 All-Australian, alongside Crows leading goal kicker Josh Jenkins, former Cat. Here on Fox Footy, VFL action before Freo and the Western Bulldogs tonight out west. The Dockers trying to make it a club record 18th win on the season. Hughes to the pocket, Ballantyne with Cochrane for company. Joel Cochrane reaches over the top and kills that contest.
Nice contest from both players. Ballantyne just running flat out, often difficult to even get your arms up and compete for that mark. Didn't get shifted off the ball. No mark, but importantly, no intercept mark either. And see it there. Didn't allow himself to get shifted under the footy. It was a really good contest by both players. 2
goals last week for Jamison Ballantyne. Great tackle from Mallow. The Cats with the numbers around the contest. Bowes throws it on his boot. Has he just squeezed that one in for a behind? He has not. Joel Cochrane to bring it back into play, the Sydney product.
to 14 Bowes. Got the goal as well. So just wonder whether Collingwood might think about doing something with him.
Koning, Gray throws a boot at it. Kolajasny and Buller go into battle. Here is De Koning. Stop and prop. Stevens does the same. Kicks to full forward. Ballantyne was up. Mellor almost ran back onto it. Ballantyne's going to go over his head. Oh, that is spectacular. The craft from Jamison Ballantyne.
Nice. You ever kick one like that, Goldie?
No, I'd be lucky if I hit my foot, to be really honest, JJ. That's probably out of my skill set.
Amazing flexibility. It was quite sharp. Competed beautifully on the footy. Fortuitous bounce and then bang. Nate Caddy style. I think Nate's was probably a little bit better. Fortunately, no arc because there were some calls for touched. But that is in the book and that is a sharp goal. And I love the first part of it. The competition aerially didn't give up. Was out of position, Ballantyne. Jumped up, got the ball to ground, got the lucky bounce and then quick thinking. Didn't even worry about any handball receives. Straight on the boot, straight over the head, straight through the middle.
He looks pretty happy with it too.
Yeah, well,
by his reactions.
29th goal of the season for Jamison Ballantyne. Young man out of Portland in Victoria's far southwest. Free kick coming to Sullivan here in the middle of the grounds. He's going to load up immediately. Looks for a marking target. Illaru Smith tried to do his work at ground level. Getting back there to support was Wiedemann. Burke, really neat kick. Found Buse. Did Killian Burke out of County Kerry. Big week for the Irish representatives at AFL and AFLW level, of course, with Australia v Ireland tomorrow. You can see that live and exclusive here on Fox Footy tomorrow afternoon. North Sydney Oval. It's going to be a spectacular game of AFLW footy. Mellor gets run down by Howes. Still got the handball away. Flicked over the top. Now a chance. Zach Stevens centres it up. Couldn't find a teammate on the end of it in Williams. And it's locked up. 25 out from the Cats' goal.
Dangerous Cats when they can get some overlap run. Plenty of hard running forwards who can get up and back.
Playing over the top of the pack, Jay Rantel, former Pie. Played 5 games for Collingwood in 2021. Now on this Geelong VFL list. Punched out of there by Swadling. Come back in through Hoffman. Set up kick, dangerous spot. Ballantyne from the back flew. Applied the pressure at ground level as well. George Stevens got around onto his right peg. And he won't be able to curl that one home.
Just couldn't get enough elevation and power on that footy. Looked like Ollie Wine's about to feed that ball out to a receiver. No one was free and the space opened up. Just couldn't quite get enough leverage on the snap.
Ryan's a Prindable. That's an awkward hand pass for Falkhead. He made something of it. An aggressive kick to the back edge of the square. Finds Phillips. Run down by De Koning. The big fella picked him off. That might get his confidence going. Now Bowes to the pocket. And again, a great duel aerially between Ballantyne and Cochrane.
Yeah, magnificent from the ruckman, Goldie. You'd love this. I know he's naturally more of a defender, but he's just shown he's more engaged in the game in this second quarter.
Yeah, you can see his intensity has lifted a lot. So whether he got spoken to at quarter time just to give a bit more.
Coe reaches over the top. Mellor the roving. And he couldn't get rid of it in time. And Joel Cochrane's putting a nice game together. He's almost missed his shoe. And he gave Ballantyne the opportunity to go over the top again. Hooks it to the pocket. Zach Stevens will get a look at it. And he hooks that one home.
Well, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to see this grubber again. Apologies to all concerned. Have a look at it. An absolute shocker from Cochrane, and almost up over the head once again in the end. Stevens, who's one of those dynamic running forwards that the Cats have got. And Malaw's involved, and that's a good start to a game of footy for Stevens. He's really sharp, gets up and back, dozen disposals and a goal already. Any wonder the Cats have been a powerhouse in 2026.
3 goals on the season for Zach Stevens. Made his Geelong Footy League debut earlier in the year and kicked 5 on debut. He knows where they are. One of a few inclusions into this Geelong team today. 6 inclusions for this Geelong team. Of course, Jack Martin kicked 4 last week. He went out. Molly are out with injury. Mattify Forbes out with injury. Nathan Kruger was suspended. Pearson Costello rested for today's game for the Cats. Collingwood were unchanged before the late change with Jaff going out of the team. Nick Driscoll thought, well, I saw the opposite 27 do that, and I thought I'll try it inside forward 50. It resulted in a goal for Geelong. Not this time. DeConing shoved over by Coe, lost his footing in that contest. Swaddling, fast hands. Sullivan, Phillips. Now the releasing hand pass to generate some width. Steele's kick, beautiful delivery, centre half forward. And it is marked by Marnie. Marnie had targets running back toward goal, but a superb intercept from Lockie Wiedemann.
Yeah, just couldn't get it up over the top of Wiedemann. Good positioning and a really good contested intercept mark.
Man out of the Wimmera, Rapunya Footy Club. Started the year as a train-on for the Cats, did Lockie Wiedemann. He's earned his spot at the back end of the season, and Joel Cochran goes Noah House style and clatters that one into the stands.
It's going to be hard work for Collingwood to keep having to transition along the length of the field time and time again. It worked well in the first quarter, but I'm not sure it's going to be sustainable through the 4 quarters.
Joel Cochran would be looking at an opportunity maybe with Jeremy Howe going out of the team as well. They need another defender. He's been close a couple of times this year as far as an emergency goes, yet to make his AFL debut. Nevitt, Burke for the Cats. Deep entry. Ryan knocked it down. Lewis goes in at ground level for Geelong. Pies everywhere and it's not coming out. Smith hits it to space and Driscoll sees it out.
Just got his hands full in the ruck, DeConing, with the physical nature of these throw-ins and ball-ups. He's been pushed aside. He's put a lot of effort into his follow-up and intensity at ground level. He's got to hang in there against the bigger ruckman.
This one falls short, so he leads the race to it. You got a great look at that. With that shot. Hughes high around the body. Swooping in was Parker. Hit it at pace. Swaddling. And then Brown's handball is knocked out of play.
I think that's where Sam has found it hard at AFL level with the more physicality that he's come up against the ruckman, and they'll be doing their homework on him and understand that you need to be physical, you need to be aggressive against him, and he doesn't really like it.
And they set themselves a long way back. DeConing has made his way to the bench. Smith went up unopposed that time for the Pies, but it falls into Cat's hands. Nevitt to a dangerous spot. Ballantyne waited for it out the back. Beautiful gather and a nice finish again. And Jamison Ballantyne has had a brilliant start to this game.
Indeed. A few of these smaller Cats are enjoying having Polkinghorne out of the way. They are the main man inside forward 50, and Ballantyne, although he doesn't have the size, he's got unbelievable second up and follow-up work. His ability to recover from an aerial contest and then get the ball at ground level has been sharp on a couple of different occasions. Already kicked the 2 goals.
Just another one of those smart players that Geelong seem to always unearth. Just sitting in the VFL, just biding his time, but just some very smart football brain.
They seem to be able to develop them better than most here in the Privet City. They will Get it moving out of the middle again. Buse, Holmes, George Stevens. Teakle read it nicely. Gave a little handball away to Woden, who bounces it off half-back. And now Steele, who literally bounces it off half-back. Kicks up toward half-forward. Buller brought it down. Sullivan swooping in. Out the back. Saxena with a chance. Needs it to stay alive. And he just got a shove from Hoffman at the right moment.
Just missed on the kick, Sullivan. Beautiful crumb. Great positioning. Took the ball cleanly at speed. Just couldn't quite hit Saxena. He has hit a couple of teammates in the first term. Just missed there.
Buller takes it out of the ruck, throws it on the boot. And he hit the post that's holding up the netting. Out of bounds on the full. Jack Bowes, like any good accumulator, was back there at full-back to take the free kick.
Smart. I saw Bailey Smith go back and take a few kick-ins last night, so if it's good enough for Bailey.
Bailey and Naz, and there's plenty of them.
They all count as disposals.
Yeah, yep. They do. They add
Spot
up.
on. Kick up the line, looking for Lewis. Smith whacks it back the other way. Through the hands of Marnie, did well at ground level, fed the handball out, creates something. Sullivan can snap and score. Couple of good passages of play from Lockie Sullivan. He finishes that one off for Collingwood's first goal the second term.
It's his 15th disposal. He's had 4 inside 50s as well, so really active by Lockie Sullivan.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been Collingwood's best player, clearly. Setting up scores for the most part. Found himself in some space in the corridor. Just had enough on it. Just got it up and over and got him an important goal for the Pies just to keep them in touch. It was a 16-point margin. Felt like the Cats were perhaps at risk of blowing the game wide open, but an important goal from the Pies' most prolific player thus far.
25 games of AFL experience, of course, picked up as a mature ager at the supplementary period a couple of years ago. Lockie Sullivan. One of the AFL emergencies this week, so not far off an opportunity. Nevitt with another centre clearance, and Noah Howes just making sure that the crew on bounce are watching. He whacks that one out toward the boundary line.
That is probably the one weakness in this Geelong team at the moment. Aerially, as we see Driscoll just limp to the change rooms for a little bit of extra assistance. So just that jackknife sort of motion on that left leg. So hopefully all's well there.
Driscoll, hopefully all okay. Hayes gets driven into the turf. A little bit of a test of the shoulder that he injured and had surgery on earlier in the season. There is Driscoll making his way off.
Yeah, with former premiership cat Shannon Burns, who works in the welfare area, does a bit of development coaching as well. Just wears a couple of different hats down there.
Last pick at the rookie draft last year, Nick Driscoll played a bit of VFL with the Preston Bull Ants on his way through the Northern Knights program.
They do a good job, clubs, don't they? I mean, Driscoll's been injured for about 3 minutes, and the club have got, you know, a welfare person straight on the scene just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
And he'll be also in communication with all the family and the like and the partners of those players straight away.
Yep. I've had that happen to me before, and it's amazing how quickly that takes place, where you get the phone call saying, hey, you know, your partner's been injured. Even if it's nothing serious, you still get the call. So reassuring. Sometimes you're happily sitting at home and you've got to drive in, and
there's usually more sympathy at the ground than there is at home.
Saying that from experience.
I think they've learned not to listen to the commentators' medical opinions either. That's probably where it's come from.
Wisely so. Buller, spiralling kick inside the forward 50. And Killian Burke floats into mark. Jabs it out toward Hoffman. Knocked down by Hayes. Saxena couldn't collect it. Burke goes back in and cleans up his work. Well done. George Stevens. Ballantyne operating up the grounds. keeps it alive and whacks it forward. 2-on-1 here for the Cats. It just needs to get out the back and sit for Zach Stevens. It won't quite. And then having a throw at that was Panisi, and he can't make that one work. He kicked a spectacular goal in local footy earlier on, about a month ago. Ben Panisi couldn't add to his work there. Plays for Newtown and Chilwell in the Geelong League. And he got a ball that was bouncing basically toward the left-hand behind post to do an absolute right-hand hook turn with about 2 metres out from the goal line and dribble through. Coe drags down Tanner Lewis, who was in trouble for a moment.
Just happened to be watching the game.
May have spotted that one on social media with a highlight. JJ. It's folded away in the memory bank as to what he's capable of in terms of making the footy talk. Harry Coe, drafted out of Frankston at the mid-season, hasn't earned an AFL opportunity yet. Again, it's Caperon who cuts it off for the Cats. To the pocket. DeConey got the arms up that time, couldn't haul it in. And walked across is Hunter Holmes. Another in his first season at Geelong. Quite a few of their rookies out here in this VFL clash. 16 listed players. In fact, 12 for the Cats. There was 16 for Collingwood before Jath went out of the team. DeConing out of the ruck. That's a nice bit of work from the big fella. Take the mids out of the equation. Do it yourself. And Sam curls it home.
Not bad. Just got in there on the back of his opponent in Coe. Just got in underneath him, and you never want to give up your back, whether it be in a marking contest or in the ruck, Goldie, and it was good body work from DeConey.
And I think that's what Sam has to do as a ruckman. He's never going to be the ruckman, I don't think, that dominates the hit-outs. He's only had the 3 for today, but it's about how can you work your opponent underneath, make it like a marking contest and take your opportunities like he just did.
And he would have learnt from the best in terms of that forward 50, take it out of the ruck and hook it around the body.
I thought you were giving me a compliment, then I realised you were talking about Tom Hawkins.
So did I, actually.
I just thought I'd leave it hanging there for a little while to see if you'd snap that up.
Well, I did teach Tom a few things.
Like throwing a bait in for some whiting out in Corio Bay.
Tom Hawkins, incredible at doing that inside forward 50, just lulling the opposition ruckman to sleep and then getting in and body slamming him.
Made it a real art form, didn't he, for a while there. DeConey with another chance in the pocket here. Howes back the other way. Woden handball toward the boundary line. Burke makes sure he's seen across.
Did he ever, now Joel will check, did he ever get you, Goldie, when you're just lumbering down to a D50 stoppage? Did he?
Oh, look, I'm sure he may have had a couple of cracks at it. I'm not sure how many goals he would have kicked, though. we usually had someone there waiting for him to turn around.
I think first 2 goals of the 22 grand final, I think, were from Hawkins out of the ruck from memory.
Right, yep, against the Swans. A historic day for the Cats.
It's one of the more, I don't know whether it happened to you ever, but it is one of the more flattening experiences on an AFL ground or on any ground when someone grabs it out of the ruck and kicks a goal against you.
As the opposition ruckman, it's incredibly stressful when you know you've got a player like that, because sometimes no matter what you do, you can't stop it.
Burke to full forward for Geelong. They had the Crummers waiting down. Zach Stevens was among them. Nevitt got the hands free somehow. Hooking it back toward goal is Mella. Right on the line, it was dropped by Woden. The Pies will need to be sharp here to mop it up. And they were through Cochrane and Brown. Ryan back to Brown, now Swaddling. They link up by hand and get it out to Steele. Steele can take the more direct route by foot to Phillips. And now Printable. And they've opened the field up here, Collingwood. And Parker's got an empty 50 to work with. He had options inside and found a good one in Marnie.
Definition of end-to-end ball movement there. You can't have that ball start any closer to your defensive goal line. It was literally sitting on that defensive goal line. Sharp handballs. It looked like the Cats were going to come forward and stop one of those. They couldn't. Every handball hit its target, and from there, once they got to halfway or close enough to halfway, they had numbers and space everywhere. Marnie's
got one already. He Can't thread that one for a second. You know how hard Geelong make it to transition the ball at this venue. A Geelong team of any level. There's some risk involved in that opportunity for the Pies.
I think that's why Collingwood have had so many more handballs than kicks already for this game. I think they've already had 9 more handballs than kicks, which is very rare to see.
Forkhead got his ambitions and his capabilities firmly round the wrong way there.
When you're facing the wrong direction, it's hard to complain it was a realistic attempt.
Yeah, I don't quite know what went through his mind there. There's Nick Driscoll coming back toward the bench with that left knee taped up, so good to see after the jarring motion at half-back for the Cats. Big Harry Coe. 16 touches last week, 1 kick, 27 hit-outs and 7 clearances. That's a nice ruckman's game, Goldie.
That sort of stat line makes me want to weep of how proud I am of that sort of stat line.
Hoffman with the intercept.
Says the ruckman who felt he was the best kick in the team.
I did, but I still feel like I handled a lot more than I kicked.
And 27 hit-outs would have been about a quarter and a half for Goldie in his pomp. Capper on. That's easy pickings for Ryan. Shifts it immediately by hand to Woden. Now to Landy. Carves his kick down the boundary line for Di Mattia.
Just going to find a way to bring Buller into this game. Only the 3 disposals. I don't know whether you'd even try him in defence at some stage.
We'll go in his direction that time. Kolajasny was able to bring it to ground. Sullivan, handball out wide for Phillips. Squaring kick. Gray floats in, can't take it with him. Smith lopes after it into the pocket. Has he got the check side? He hits the post. Channeling Dan McStay.
That would have definitely gone on the website if you had to kick that.
I can't wait to see a replay. I think you'll see it better in the slow-mo. He puts a little side step on, just a little shimmy right there, just to be able to get a bit of space on the boundary. That is sharp work. It's a shame he didn't finish.
He's caught that very thin in the end.
Did well to hit the post, didn't he? Very good work, though.
Yep. The build-up was fantastic.
Yeah, we like him.
He's one of our favourites. We're going to need some royalties on the web traffic. Hoffman hands it back. Gray to the pocket. He might get another chance here. Smith's on the end of it again. Maybe a more conventional approach this time.
Difficult here on the left as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure he doesn't look overly confident to go on the right. I don't think from this distance.
It's probably too far out for the right foot. It's too far out to probably kick the check side.
He might have exhausted all his options in terms of a pass, though.
Just got to back yourself.
He's thought it through.
We'll get a good look at it. It's not going to be what it needed to be. Marnie was up on the behind line. And now it's Geelong's turn to try and chain it out by hand. And anytime Holmes gets it in space at GMHBA Stadium, generally good things happen. Bowes turned back into traffic. They're still in possession of this, even though it's been a little bit unconvincing. Panisi into the centre of the ground. Ballantyne up now. Burke needs to be quick. Was delivered inside 50. Pike knocks it on. That's intelligent play. They will go end to end, and Zach Stevens will take it to the house.
I wouldn't mind going back and seeing where that was. Intelligent play, or was another one of JJ's accidental assists.
Credit, yes. I reckon Big Pikey might have just seen his teammate out of the corner of his eye. So sharp work. That tackle should have been stuck, so Sullivan has to stick that tackle. That'll be the coaching point for him from a Collingwood perspective, because they should have stopped that ball at half forward. Instead, they're in scramble defence. They can't get a glove on any of the Cats there. And well, he didn't try and mark it, so
I'm giving him it.
I think it's a...
I think it's a GA, not an AA.
Yeah. DGA, deliberate goal.
I don't have my Geelong rose-coloured glasses on.
You're not giving him that?
No, I'm going to say you just try to get a hand on it to avoid the opposition mark.
You're a tough judge. I thought you would have just seen any tap and gone, yep, he meant that.
And some of us who like to control our tap sort of can tell the difference between an accidental one and a deliberate one.
It's been a profitable second term for the Cats. 5 goals to 1. Parker. Some nice aerial work to cut that off. No one stood the mark, so he comes back the other way with some authority in the kick. Prindable read it off hands. There's a little bit of work done there on Swadling when he didn't have it by George Stevens. It won't be paid advantage to Sullivan. Cats by 20 points. Prindable. Parker. Nice delivery inside the 50, and Di Mattia has dragged that one in millimetres off the turf.
A couple of leading targets, not entirely sure which one was the intended, but all's well that ends well, and Pies need this. Di Mattia needs to go back. It's been quiet in the contest. Needs to go back and do the job deep into this second term. This is a much, much needed goal.
Third season on the list, yet to make his debut. Harry Di Mattia. Lefty from just inside the arc. Looks good. Kicks very good. They needed it. Harry Di Mattia delivered it. And he cuts the margin back to 14.
And it's important one just to, little bit like last night, Collingwood just doing enough just to hang around. Every time it looks like Geelong are going to kick away, they just keep themselves in it.
Similar timing as well. Just before half-time as well. They're able to jag one. He has pulled that in cleanly too. Harry Di Mattia had some good games earlier in the season as a midfielder. They redeployed him as a forward. He was an AFL emergency for a few weeks there. Got close to a senior call-up. He's had a quieter few weeks playing predominantly forward in terms of ball winning. 25th pick at the 2023 draft. Out of the Dandenong Stingrays program at Talent League level. Punch forward by Coe. Brown. Looking for another one to take into half-time here, the Pies. But Askey fights hard. The Collingwood tall forwards haven't had a lot of joy so far in this game. Hands and knees stuff for Jet Henderson at half-back. And it's dragged to a stop. Fremantle and the Western Bulldogs coming up tonight. Friday night footy here on Fox. Big Super Saturday tomorrow, including Australia and Ireland at AFLW. North Sydney Oval, live and exclusive here on Fox Footy. Sunday ticket with 3 games to complete the weekend as well. Di Mattia upstairs. Gray reads it nicely off hands. Spills to Di Mattia. Hooks it high to full forward. Buller at the back. Kolodjasny at the front. Padaski in the pocket. And he just was pushed out before he got boot to ball.
Good opportunity, though. That's a good result, rather than giving the footy back to the Cats and losing 50, 55 metres of field position. Just one last opportunity, free kick. Little opportunity for a late score, which would give the Pies a lot of confidence going in.
5 goals to 2 in the term. 5 goals, 1 for Geelong. They've been accurate. 2-2 for Collingwood. Hughes will find some space. Coe keeps it alive. Ballantyne operating up the grounds. So too Mella. Cruising through was Brown. Got it away to Sullivan. Blind hand pass over his head was inventive. Swadling. Saxena. Handball to the pocket. Smith. He turned it over, the big man. And they'll be able to run it out of danger, the Cats. Driscoll with a couple of bounces off half-back. Almost run down there. His teammate in Gunser. Cochrane intercepts for Collingwood. Gets it back. Sends it back the other way. Saxena at the back. Kolodjasny in front.
Rock solid. Rock solid, really puts those marks down. So opportunities for both teams. The Cats just couldn't quite find an outlet mark. They're probably happy just to play a bit of a kick mark game here.
Capper on to Rantel. Hoffman. He's had plenty of it in this opening half. Lennox Hoffman, lem disposal, 6 marks to start the game. Kicks down the Higgy stand wing and it bounces out of play. You see Lockie Sullivan with 21 to lead everyone in terms of disposals. Bose with 18, Swaddling with 18. A little bit of work to be done in ball retrieval on that outer side.
A bit trickier in these sort of stadiums to get that ball back, especially on a Friday afternoon.
Yep. Might be a few rolling down Moorabool Street after work. Jumping off the train down at the South Geelong station. Nice work from Lewis, kept it alive. Got the handball return, kicks to the full forward. Ballantyne over the top. But Howe stood in the road.
It's been good, House. A couple of big spoils and some intercept marks. He's been absolutely rock solid behind the footy.
Resolute back there. Co-marks to get us to half-time. What started a 3-point advantage to Collingwood at quarter time is now a 14-point Geelong lead at the half. 5 goals in that term for the Cats. And they showcase that attacking flair that they've been known for this season, Goldie. They are a high-scoring team, and they flex their muscles.
Yeah, they were just able to control the game once the ball got out of the stoppages, and I think every time Collingwood tried to launch the ball from backward of centre, it was just an easy intercept mark for the Geelong side. So Collingwood, when they were able to get their handball game going, looked really dangerous, but it's a high risk, high reward sort of situation for Collingwood.
They had some opportunities late there, JJ, the Pies. Just couldn't make the most of them.
Yeah, they did. They weren't easy opportunities. It's not as if we sort of sit here and think, well, they missed 2 or 3 absolute sitters and should have done better. They're in the game, and that's good, because at one stage it did feel like the Cats were going to blow them away.
Cats by 14 points. Their captain is, of course, Daniel Caperon. He's with Lex.
He certainly is, Dan. You were able to get a bit of a lead there, but every time you do something, they seem to come back. What do you do in the second half?
Yeah, I think we're playing into their hands a little bit with the way they'll have to play, working the ball with hands from their D50 to our inside. So the way we can just squeeze up behind it and try and lock it in our front half, which we did well at times that quarter, but yeah, just need to do it more consistently. And
just one on Sam de Koning, having him in this side. I mean, I can't imagine he'll be around for long, but just the stuff he does, it must be remarkable to see.
Yeah, it's great to have him in here. He started off playing with the twos, and it's good to get him back when he's here. But yeah, we know there's a bigger goal for him in mind, and just want to get him back playing good footy after having a week off last week. And if we can help him do that, get back in the side, it'd be great. So yeah.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Daniel and thanks to Lex. Cats with 5 goals in that second term. They open up a 14-point break at the half, showcasing the power that they've been known for this season. JJ and Goldie to break it all down on the other side of this. VFL action at GMHBA Stadium. It was all the Pies early on in this game. It was all the Cats in the second term. A couple of miscues didn't help things. Terrific second term from Jamison Valentine, kicking a couple of spectacular goals. Lockie Sullivan helping keep the Pies in it. It's a 14-point lead at the half. Geelong 50 playing Collingwood 36. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins and Todd Goldstein breaking it down for you at half-time. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. And it was the Pies who jumped out of the blocks. They traded blows in that opening term, JJ, and it was pretty close through the opening 30 minutes. The Cats stretched their legs in the second go.
Yeah, they did. That was sharp from both Mellor and Stevens on the finish. And we always talk about the importance of centre bounce clearances. That one from Nevitt, deep inside forward 50, and Mellor, who set up the first, was able to get on the end of that before the Pies, who have been relatively competitive across the contest, got one out the back through Roan Steele.
He rolled that one into goal. They continued to attack pretty well in this opening term. Goldie took the most of their opportunities. Max Marnie kicking a goal as well, so they led by 3 points. Only the 5th time they've led at quarter time all of this season. But unfortunately, Geelong did what Geelong does and hit back in the second term.
Yeah, when they win the centre clearances 10-3, they're playing a real front half game, and Collingwood have transitioned them well a couple of times from their back half, but it's really hard to do that consistently well at this level of footy.
Jamison Valentine kicking the second of his goals in that term. The first was spectacular with the overhead kick. We had a big watch on Jack Bowes coming into this game. We know that he's such an accomplished ball winner at this level, 33 a game, and he's got 19 to half-time, prolific as always.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very smart, good ball user. We haven't seen a lot of the deft kicking inside forward 50 that he's very good at, but being able to hit the scoreboard, being able to get involved in the game, going to go probably north of his average of 33 disposals on the season, and again just has to keep knocking on the door and eventually someone at AFL level will answer.
Yep, absolutely. Still a lot of good footy left for Jack Bowes, 28 years of age, and he's doing good things in this game for the Cats. They lead by 14 as we peek into their rooms. We'll take a look at Collingwood on the other side of this. eye-catching moment from the first half. George Stevens centering it up. Took a little bit of inventiveness from Jamison Ballantyne. A crafty finish over his head. The appeals for touch were waved off by the goal umpire. The first goal of Jamison Ballantyne's afternoon was a classic. He kicked another in that second term as well. His Cats lead by 14 at half-time. And look inside the Collingwood rooms. They kicked a late goal in that term to narrow the gap. It was 20 back to 14. And chief among driving them forward in this game, Goldie, has been Lockie Sullivan, 21 and a goal to half-time.
And he's done it pretty much everywhere. He's had the 9 contested possessions, 4 clearances, 11 handball receives as well. So he's getting it on the inside and the outside. And he's really setting them up with his 4 score involvements.
He's been the driving force behind a lot of their attacks, JJ.
Yeah, they just hopefully can bring some of the bigger forwards into the game. That's probably the part for Collingwood. Now, Geelong don't really have any big forwards. They're running with a lot of their medium-sized forwards, but this guy is carrying the can for the Pies thus far. You can start to bring some of the key forwards into the game. Projaski's only had 3, Buller's only had 4. That's the real area of upside for the Pies.
Yeah, they haven't really had a look at it, the 2 key forwards, of course. Fremantle and the Western Bulldogs tonight, Friday night footy on Fox. Tomorrow, massive Saturday, St Kilda Sydney, Hawthorn North Melbourne, Australia v Ireland at North Sydney Oval, live and exclusive on Fox Footy. Port Adelaide and GWS, and then Carlton and Brisbane to finish off your Super Saturday. Your Sunday ticket, Richmond and West Coast, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Essendon, Adelaide. All of Noah House's spoils on bounce as part of the Golden Fish segment. I'm going to declare that right here. And then first crack to have a look back at the weekend that was. Geelong by 14 points at halftime. As VFL action continues, we'll have the second half on the other side of this on Fox Footy. A gorgeous Friday night in the Pivot City. Golden hour type stuff. The lights fully ablaze. And the home team going very nicely at halftime. They trailed at quarter time. They opened up a 20-point lead in that second quarter. And now sits as 14 as we get going in the second half. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins, Todd Goldstein with you. It is Geelong 15-1 on the season. They've already locked up the minor premiership. And Collingwood trying to end their winning run at 12 consecutive games. They've got a big task on their hands here in this second half. Have the Pies. Some news out of Collingwood today, of course, that they've officially parted ways with Bobby Hill, and some news around the Cats this afternoon as well. For the latest on that, let's get down to Alexia Pesce. Lex.
Yeah, Joel, very similar at the Cats. Tyson Stengel and the Cats have mutually agreed to part ways. It is a shame to see, as anyone would agree. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get out and play. He has only managed one VFL game this year and had some very public off-field issues. In a statement, he did thank his teammates and the club for the time he's spent here at the Cats. He's, of course, a premiership player, played over 100 games and is an All-Australian. He did have 3 years left to run on his contract, so they have agreed mutually to part ways. Tyson Stengel will no longer be a Cat. Now, in some injury news from the game this afternoon, in the Cats camp, it's Nick Driscoll. I did ask. He had some issues with his lower leg. He is okay and he'll finish the match. As for the Pies, they weren't without their injury concerns too. That's for Jack Buller. His dislocated finger seemed to be a problem early, but he had that strapped. He was good to go. He did have some work on his lower leg, but the club has confirmed that was just a cut, and he also is good to go.
Great stuff. Thank you, Lex. You'll be hoping he gets a chance to test out those hands a little bit more in this second half, JJ.
Yeah,
Big Jack?
No doubt about it. It's been quiet. Real shame about Tyson Stengel and Bobby Hill, but I spent time in Adelaide and Geelong with Tyson Stengel and I've reached out to him a few different stages this year. It's just a shame to see two guys who've got 3 and 4 years, I think, well, 3 years each on contracts, not able to fulfil them.
Premiership players, one's a Norm Smith medalist, one's an All-Australian as well. We know the prodigious talent that they both hold. So, yeah, hopefully they can, I guess they can find their happy place in life, and then that everything else is secondary behind
absolutely.
that.
Yep, spot on.
So it's a shame to see both of them no longer with their respective clubs. But I think the thoughts of the footy world will certainly be with Tyson and Bobby, and hopefully that they can get things back on track. About set for a second half here at GMHBA Stadium. Big Sam de Koning bouncing around in the ruck. We saw him have a little bit more presence in that second term, Goldie, and maybe just start to find a little bit of that confidence and spark.
Yeah, he's had a little bit more effect around the ground, not so much in the hit-outs, but just around the ground.
It's printable with the opening clearance of the second half. He sends the Pies forward, and Daniel Caperon marks and immediately wants Will Phillips to clear the area. Umpire agreed with him eventually. Kicked 4 goals in a quarter earlier this season. Daniel Caperon, while he was playing forward against Carlton, finished with 5 that game. So equally adept at either end of the field. Long-time member of this Cats team. Nevitt. Bowes will continue to get them. He's going to kick short for Burke. He goes aggressive with a diagonal kick across the square. Picked off by Steele. Sends it back inside the 50. The good position from Padaski. Couldn't hang on to the mark. Burke's there to mop it up this time. He went a little bit safer with the kick and found Buse.
Yeah, he did go a little bit safer. Padaski's just got to fight harder to be able to get rid of that opponent. Only able to go up one-handed. Got to push off the opponent. Make sure you can get up at the ball with 2 hands.
Ballantyne with the fluorescent boots under the lights here at GMHBA Stadium. Holmes bounces it out wide. Nevitt, kick on the half volley inside the forward 50. Nice gather from Mellor. Kicks to full forward, slaps off the hands there. De Koning up and down the mine shaft. It was Zach Stevens who came out to meet it. Di Mattia takes over for Collingwood. Brady Gray, real old school look with the long sleeves and the socks up. Ryan Phillips, back to Ryan, ran into trouble. Caught holding the ball, no. Dump in the tackle.
Gee, good pursuit though. Can get the ultimate outcome, but great pursuit in the tackle, just didn't give up.
And even with a somewhat modest crowd here, JJ, the locals still unhappy about a decision going against them, which is par for the course in Geelong.
Can understand why as well.
Capper picks
I'm
that
not really
one
sure
off.
what it was for, to be honest.
It was a very soft sling.
Yes.
It was a nurse to the ground.
Which, last time we checked, probably not a free kick.
No, I think the VFL umpire's just feeling a little bit sorry for the AFL Cats from last night. Just a little square up.
14-point lead to the Cats early in this third term. Di Mattia runs onto the footy. Bouncing ball went his way. And Harry Di Mattia finishes with some real class. And that could really spark something for him and the Pies.
He's got a couple, just explosive first step, able to access that footy using the acceleration. Just bashed forward by Coe, and there's Di Mattia, just bang straight onto the footy and flushed it on the left foot around the corner.
Doing it at both ends of the ground too. He took the intercept mark at in the defensive 50 and then worked his way back to the forward line. Collingwood have looked quite good from these around the ground stoppages once they've been able to get it outside of the contest. I think Harrison Coe has hit 2 or 3 for longer now, and it's end up in scoring shots for Collingwood.
So Pies with the first goal of the second half. Matty Lowe going to be very happy about that. Sam Swadling waddles it inside the forward 50. And Kolajasny's up to meet it. It's the second time in his VFL career he's kicked multiple goals. Harry Di Mattia. Buller. Just a bit of ruck work with the left hand. Marnie almost on the end of it. Keeps fighting for the footy. Nevitt stands in the road. Kolajasny shows them a clean pair of heels. Holmes kicks outside the defensive 50. Teakle used the body nicely. Comes back into the centre. Woden, the late inclusion with no Chew Jaff out there for Collingwood. It all stops in front of Swadling. So he releases by hand to Ryan. Ryan kicks deep. Prindable had a run and a jump at it. And Buller got dragged down by a pair of Cats.
Just didn't read that ball there to Koning. Jumped under it a little bit, could only reach up for it. Again, just a bit of a sign airily that his game's not exactly where he wants it to be. We've seen him spill a mark in his hand, spill one on his chest, and then just jump under that one.
Wrestles with Buller, slaps it out to George Stevens, who kicks outside the 50, and Mellor can't hang on. It's been Harry Coe, who's been battling away, get some treatment on the bench earlier in the contest. He'll set himself to go up against the Koning in ruck. These two teams met earlier in the season. It was a 61-point win to Geelong, 116 to 55. They have racked up some big numbers this season, the Cats. Free kick off the footy here. Inside 50 for Collingwood, and it'll go to Di Mattia.
Yeah, Buse just slung an opponent. A few players around the footy stopped. Importantly, the ball didn't. And Di Mattia, again, finds a little bit of space to take his best, but mentioned the fact he'd been playing the high half forward role and not having a lot of impact. Well, all of a sudden, lines up for his third.
He'll test that left leg. He's got it shaping a little bit, but not enough. Argent 7 points. Positive start to this term for the Pies. Here you see the territory dominance they've had so far in this third quarter. Hoffman brings it out. Landy links up with Di Mattia. The flying locks of both of them motoring toward goal. Padaski couldn't hang on that time, got 2 hands to it. George Stevens there is dragged down by the man who's currently second in the Frosty Miller medal.
It's been one of those games for Padaski so far, just not quite there.
De Koning along the boundary line. Sullivan hooks it over his shoulder. What can he create? Hoffman, Marnie, can someone get a boot on it? Burke got his hands to it. Capper on Stevens, Bowes, now College-Asney. Exiting kick, Coe sits underneath it.
It's good from Collingwood, just some repeat entries, can't get it out of their back half. The Cats at all haven't really got tall targets that can give them a contest.
Again, it goes to a big pack, Buller and Padaski among it. Cats had representation in the air. And again, it's Collingwood who win it back at half forward. Can marshal the troops for another attack. Back behind halfway. Howes with an expansive kick to the Hickey stand side. Rising to mark impressively is Steele. Rowan Steele with the setup kick. This time Marnie found some space and he drags it in at full forward.
Bit to like about Marnie. Airily showing a bit of spring and the ability to take a mark inside 50. See here on the replay screen, he just springs up there. He's mostly unopposed, but still a nice set of hands.
One already for Marnie. He puts that one through, and it is back to a one-point ball game.
Wow.
Collingwood have made some nice adjustments in this third quarter. The half-time break came at a good time. They're getting Stanley beaten in the centre bounces, 10-3 in the first half, and you can see a change in mindset. They're now going more one-on-one. They're now owning the outside, and I think that's leading to get more forward half play and what has allowed them to get back into this game.
I didn't see this coming. Looked like it was potentially going to really spill wide open and get out to 40, 50 plus, but credit to this Collingwood team, who do have 16 AFL listed players, so you'd expect to see some fight and certainly some talent.
Cats with the clearance from the restart. Bowes, now a chance for Panisi. Not quite. First score of the second half to the Cats. The locals trying to rouse the troops. Parker, aggressive kick through the middle. Phillips makes it work. He's got some space. Releases Marnie. Marnie drills it inside the arc to Hayes. And Hayes has got Steele further afield and finds him in space.
You can't stop that. Once you get that first kick back through the middle of the ground, it's almost impossible. The Cats are left scrambling, and it's super sharp from the Pies. Ball stays on the body. All targets are hit, and it ends up with a relatively straightforward shot at goal for Steele, who's been busy.
So Rowan Steele can put Collingwood ahead. The Pies have come flying out of the blocks at half-time. 3 goals in 10 minutes, and they've hit the front.
Well, I didn't see this coming, Goldie, at all, but that's the one there. Missed tackle. Ball stays on the body. Marnie, good ball use. Great ball use, in fact, finding Will Hayes, and he did the right thing and gave it to Steele, who got his second and gave the Pies an unlikely lead.
They just haven't been able to get any control of the footy like they did in that first half, Geelong. Very few uncontested marks so far.
We'll get the clearance out of the middle. Will the Pies. Sullivan drives it to full forward. College-Asney did well. And Hoffman will see it across for a rushed behind. Alexia Pesce on the boundary. Lex, a little bit of an injury concern for the Pies.
Yeah, it's to Harrison Coe. He's come off now complaining about his hand. A little bit earlier behind play, he seemed to have a lower leg injury. He's just with doctors at the moment.
In the wars, big Harry Coe.
And so the Cats 10-2 inside 50s again. So +8 early in the quarter. We've only gone 11.5 minutes, and the Pies have already had 8 more inside 50s. So complete and utter field position dominance.
They're under siege at the moment, this Geelong team. They haven't been pressured like this. A 12-game winning run. 9 times this season they've kicked 100 or more points from 16 outings. And generally when they've won wide. Howes. Ryan. This game all on Collingwood's terms at the moment. Cochrane's been good back there. Brady Gray, part of their AFLW coaching setup. He'll be a busy man over the coming weeks. Pike intercepted and then forgot what his plan was after he played on. Hughes to half forward, and the opposite number 24 cuts it out in Ryan.
Just breaking down between the arcs. The Cats haven't really got tall targets. Maybe DeConey needs to go there and give them something to kick to. Almost turn the footy back over, but at the moment, of course, Polkinghorne's now in the AFL. Jack Martin went back up to the AFL level. Of course, Jeremy Cameron, Dangerfield not there, so all of their tall stocks either in the AFL team or injured at the moment. So just one area of the game and the ground, the Cats haven't got enough personnel.
And on that, Collingwood had 10 intercept marks in the first half. They've had 6 already in this quarter. So they're just that lack of tall forwards are really starting to hurt them.
Controlling the airwaves at the moment, the Pies. Oscar Falkhead. Padaski this time. Spilt it at the last moment, but had enough of it.
There's a difference between that contest and the one we saw about 10 minutes ago. He was able to push back and get both hands up in the air versus just trying to reach up with one arm. It'd be hard to take a mark with just the one arm, but that was a lot stronger. Got lower, used his legs, didn't rely on his upper body. Just had enough reach to cling onto it.
Just the one behind so far for Mitch Padaski. 42 goals on the season. From right on the 50. He does what he does best. Mitch Padaski puts it through. And Collingwood are on top here in this term.
It's a beautiful approach. You can certainly see why he's going to go close to that 50-goal mark. It's a really nice contested mark, and that is a nice finish.
I think that's going to be the difference in Padaski's game is against the 20-year-old backman, he's able to hold his position, whereas when he's been against College Asney, he's not been quite able to hold his same position. So I think that's the next evolution for Padaski if he's going to make an AFL level.
And there you see the Frosty Miller medal top 5. So Padaski closes to within 3 of Corey Allison. So Frankston playing Port Melbourne tonight. Box Hill in action against North Melbourne tomorrow for Brodie McLaughlin as well. The big 3 contenders in the Frosty Miller medal race this season. McLaughlin trying to make it a 3rd. Pies send it forward once more, up by 11 points. Trailed by 14 at half-time, as many as 20 in that second term. Swadling emerges. He bounces his hand pass. And a juggling mark taken by Caperon, who intercepts again.
Important from the captain because the Cats are under siege. It's
a dangerous kick across the 50. Gray can't latch onto it.
Well, it was a good mark. Not as wise on the kick, but you see the one-hander able to get it on the 3rd or 4th attempt, but just, what is it, a 31-point turnaround in about a quarter of total game time. So it's been a significant shift.
8 intercept marks for Daniel Caperon. 8 intercepts, all of them coming in that fashion for the Cats captain, who was rested last week. One of 6 inclusions for this Geelong team. Just the one change from Collingwood's team that beat St Kilda last week. There's Harrison Coe, who's been receiving some treatment, as Lex detailed. Boundary side. Nevitt kicks up the line. Teakle floats in, and just giving Zach Stevens a little one to go on with there.
Again, just falling down, trying to come out of defensive 50. Just cannot get a contest on the ball at all.
Teakle to Howes to Falkhead. Plus 23 for disposals in the quarter, the Pies. Owning the footy. Bounce it to the edge of the 50. Made it difficult for Buller. Tried to flip the handball up. Wiedemann pushed off it. Landy has a go. Up to Printable. To Swadling. The hands were clean. Swadling's kicked the full forward. Bounces the way of Hayes. Onto it in a flash. Settles on his left boot. Kicks another. 5 goals in the term for the Pies. And they're out by 17 points.
Wowee. What a turnaround from the Collingwood Football Club here in this third term. Amazing. And again, it is just constant and persistent pressure. The Geelong defenders just can't stand up against the repeat inside forward 50s. At some point, the damn wall bursts, and it is bursting.
It's a complete shift in how the entire first half was played. Felt like it was played entirely in Geelong's forward half, and now Collingwood, they're getting the centre clearances and they're bound to keep it in there.
And remarkable turnaround in this game. They trailed by 20 points late in that second term after Zach Stevens kicked a goal for the Cats. They now lead by 17. 37-point swing in the game as the Cats 37 bangs it inside the forward 50. Mellor went up. DeConing stayed down. Nice bit of roving from Rantel. Can he bounce it home? No.
Ball would have found a way to go through in the first half, but immediately you see DeConing's presence. They get a contest and then a shot at goal. So I think you'd probably want to look at planting DeConing, or at least you're resting Ruckman long down the line so you can get some of these long, high balls to ground, because once they do, they look dangerous.
Cats, of course, already stitched up the minor premiership. 15-1. A 12-game winning streak under threat. And Collingwood surging once more. Hayes drives it deep. Buller!
First genuinely good look he's had, and makes the most of it. It's amazing what a little bit of ball movement and speed of ball movement can do for a forward.
Jack Buller, rarely sighted thus far. Curls it around the corner and gives Collingwood the biggest lead of the ball game.
Wow. What a turnaround.
6 goals in the term. The Pies had kicked 5 to half-time. We're only 19 minutes in.
You just don't see it. You just don't see shifts of this magnitude in too many games of footy, regardless of what level of footy it is. Might be going and watching your local teams tomorrow afternoon. You won't see too many games like this where you'd think they've almost switched jumpers at halftime. Such has been the dominance of the Pies in this third term.
Won't happen against Pascoe tomorrow, though, Goldie, will it?
Absolutely not.
You'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Experience will pay out, hopefully.
They'll come out of the middle again, the Pies. Collingwood absolutely everywhere. Owning this third term. Kolajasny with a decisive fist. Not quite Noah Howe's quality.
And it's not quite GWS third term against the Brisbane Lions, where they kicked 14, but it's not far off it. It's been dominant. I mean, the Cats have barely looked like scoring.
They've had 2 centre bounce clearances for 2 points, and that's their only mode of scoring this quarter.
Gray inside 50. He finds some space. He shapes up. Brady Gray hits one from downtown. They cannot miss the Magpies. This is extraordinary.
And three-quarter time cannot possibly come quick enough for the Cats. Problem is, we've still got plenty of time in the quarter. Again, just no pressure. Stepped back, skinny side, and wasn't necessarily a deliberate shot at goal, but Gray just got it on target and had enough on it, and it floated home.
We do know what he'll be showing the AFLW Collingwood girls in their defenders meeting on Monday.
Yep, absolutely. I reckon Geordie Allen's already got that one clipped up.
Or maybe she won't. Maybe she'll be getting rid of it.
Yes, yeah, trying to delete that from the record. 7 goals, 2 to 2 behinds in this term. This game has completely flipped on its head. Geelong 28 points in the hole after leading by 20 deep into that second term. Rantel to Koning, sharp hand pass. Bo's running onto it. He might have got a knee in the backside there as he went to ground. Parker exits for Collingwood. Phillips left it behind. Steele didn't. Flicked it back to Phillips. They are running on top of the ground at the moment, Collingwood. Parker out wide. Sullivan assesses the options. Finds one in Marnie. They're out again. Saxena or Buller. Take your pick.
Wow, this is an absolute avalanche. Just end-to-end footy, whether it's clearance wins, contest wins, or transition ball movement. The Pies, I'll tell you what, they've looked like the best side in it in this third term. Untouchable, and Buller all of a sudden comes to life because he knows the ball's coming in thick and fast.
17 inside 50s to 4 now in the quarter.
Incredible.
It has been unrelenting from Collingwood. Buller to ram home the advantage even further. The number 34 makes the margin 34. And there is still so much time, not only in this third term, but in this game.
It's a clever handball from Forkhead just over the shoulder. That was what kept the speed in the ball here. And Marnie's a good-looking player inside forward 50 when he can get some space on the move. Beautiful kick to find Buller up the guts of the forward 50, and he did the job with his set shot. He's got a funny routine, Buller, but it works for him.
They found a much better balance between kicking and handball this quarter. There 16 more kicks to handballs this quarter, which has been a big shift in the way they've been playing.
And they'll get it forward out of the middle again. Hayes and Swadling combine. DeConing gets back there to provide some defensive support. Ball back into dispute. Rantel's after it. Geelong just being overwhelmed here in this third term. George Stevens with a hand on it. Now Nevitt. The Magpies continue to swarm and swoop at every opportunity. Ryan, Landy, bounces off a couple. Brown around the body, sends a skyscraper inside the 50. And Kolodjasny read it nicely in flight.
Well, was that needed? And now, instead of just banging it back down the line, this is what they'll be looking for, as many short kicks and marks as they can. Burke, I would suggest, just goes for the short sideways one after turning one over earlier.
Colour within the lines, Goldie. That's what Killian did there. It's the highest scoring quarter that Collingwood has been involved in this season, let alone that in terms of their scoreboard impact, they or their opponents. It has been quite remarkable what the Pies have done so far in this term. 8 goals, 2, and they'll get another look at it here. Jacob Ryan will win it back after the Lasso free kick. Swadling to 28. He had that in 3 quarters last week. Phillips marks right on the red paint of the 50. Marnie darting and weaving out from the goal square. Phillips hands it off to Brown.
No closer, really.
Brown wanted every centimetre that he could get.
But it was well and truly out of Will Phillips' range, I would imagine.
Yes, so again, being told to go back and have a shot, but yeah, this will take a good one from Josh Brown here.
3 goals, 8 on the season for Josh Brown. That won't have what it needs. And it'll bounce out for a boundary throw-in, so a good result for the Pies.
Yeah, certainly another opportunity. The way they've been winning clearances and contests in this third term, this is a very good look at the goals.
The man who started the game so brightly at this end, the big Roo, up against DeConing. DeConing might have had the better of it in that duel. George Stevens just got his hand pass away. He was living dangerously. And then Jesse Hart has banged it off the back of the bonce of one of his opponents, and it's bounced out of play. There you see that scoreboard. I believe that the Cat supporters here absolutely stunned here in this term. That time the kick was run down off the boot of Wiedemann. Collingwood have been immense here in this third term. Brown throws it on the boot. Hughes reads the floating ball.
Good to see they have read the room and removed the minor premiers off the screen, though.
It was there earlier in the quarter. I did see it in the background. Might be still on rotation. It's probably not the most humble brag at this stage of the contest.
Well, it was looking like a nice flex earlier, but yeah, it's not quite at the same level now.
Yeah, take that one out of the slideshow. Kick up the line. Howe's had hands to it. Cochrane's there for the Pies. He lays the tackle on Burke and gives away the free kick.
Just a bit too aggressive, try and make up for his mistake there, as you can do.
Burke kicks to the junction of the 50 in the boundary line. Zach Stevens slides in. He had Howes for company. Thought he could have been taken high. One of the inclusions this week, Zach Stevens. He's been lively with a couple of goals and 15 disposals. Those with boot to ball. Read nicely by Stevens, right on cue. Hooks it around the body and just misses to the left-hand side. It hung in the air for an eternity. Just came off the top part of his foot. Like he might have had the right shape on it, but only momentarily.
Big Bryn's taking kick-outs these days.
Haven't seen him in defence too much across the journey, and
I like it, though. I like his confidence.
Yeah, there's no shortage of confidence there, willingness to kick the footy. Good to see.
I think there's no doubt he's going to kick it long down the line, though.
free kick in the marking contest. It'll go to Jesse Hart in the hoops. 8 goals in the quarter for Collingwood. Trailed by 20 late in the second term, by 14 at half-time. Geelong has kicked 3 behind to 8-2 in this term, as Joe Pike tries to send that one inside the 50 and doesn't have any luck. And one of the support staff has got to unlock the gate and go and fetch the footy. Does that diligently and tosses it back to the opponent. You'd probably do it a little bit quicker if it was your own team, perhaps. It gets us to three-quarter time. What a display. What a powerful performance from Collingwood. They have completely flipped this game on its head. 33 points ahead at three-quarter time. Geelong's 12-game winning streak is in the gun. It'll take something remarkable for the Cats from here. Here is the story so far. Geelong went to half-time with a 14-point lead. Harry Di Mattia got involved. Cut it back to 8 for Collingwood in that term. Max Marnie got involved. He cut it back to 2. Collingwood hit the front through Roan Steele, and they just kept going. Mitch Padaski kicks a goal from right on the 50. That one puts them 8 points to the good. And then it's Will Hayes with a beautiful bit of roving. He curls this home. They're 17 points up. It was unrelenting. It was unfathomable. They just couldn't miss. Brady Gray steps up to the plate. He wobbles that through, and Collingwood turn a 14-point half-time lead into a 33-point three-quarter time lead. A 47-point swing in the game from that 14-point deficit to a 33-point lead. Joel Peterson, Josh Jenkins and Todd Goldstein with you. Alexia Pesce is with Collingwood coach Matty Loken.
Matt, well, thanks for having us at the Pies Party. What did you say at half-time?
No, look, we kind of knew, like, Geelong are a fantastic team. They're the best team in the VFL, and we knew if we could hold their momentum a little bit, you know, coming out of the break, we could get on top. And the boys were great around the contest. Our communication and our connection was a key, and we're able to hit the scoreboard.
You know they'll come out firing now. How do you keep this momentum?
Yeah, we just got to keep at it. We've had a really good last month of footy, and yeah, it'd be nice to finish off the game and have a good win.
Absolutely, Will. Good luck.
Thank you.
There is Alexia Pesce with Matt Loken. Hold their momentum is an understatement. They completely cut out any momentum Geelong had.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, you don't see a lot of quarters of footy like that, Goldie.
No, it was a complete and utter domination in every single aspect of the game.
One thing we know about this Geelong team, though, is that they have got all kinds of firepower.
Don't tell me they can flip the script, surely.
If we've seen it going the other way, who knows?
There you go.
George Stevens wants it to happen. He gets Geelong going out of the middle, 15-1, a 12-game winning streak. They're in a 33-point hole as the last quarter begins. The Cats. Nevitt throws himself at the footy, as does Prindable. Mallo's been quiet since quarter time, and he can't free himself there. What a turnaround in this game. Free kick, and it is going to the Pies to Harry Coe. We mentioned Goldie off air at three-quarter time. They played pretty much the perfect game in that quarter, Collingwood. 3 goals from stoppage, 3 goals from turnover, 2 goals from kick-ins.
Yeah, they could not do a thing wrong, and I think it stemmed from them being able to win the centre clearances. They got on top in there, and then they played a forward-half game. It was an incredible turnaround, and Geelong have got a long way to go to turn it back, but they kick into the goal-scoring end.
Yes, very true. The last 9 in the game for the Pies. Kolodjasny to the pocket, and Noah Howes just puts that fist through it again. He loves that part of the ground.
It's been the one clear-cut issue for the Cats whenever they've been slowed down and the ball's had to go long to contest. They just haven't had the personnel down there to get it done. I wonder if Mitch Nevitt could play as a bit of a pseudo tall forward just to help him a little bit.
Prindable. Hands off to Howes after it ricocheted around. And Woden sells a little bit of candy before he flicks the handball over the top to Ryan. Now Swaddling. Back to Woden. The late inclusion with no Hugh Jath out there for Collingwood tonight. Alexia told us earlier that he pulled up with a bit of hamstring soreness out of the warm-up. He is still at the venue and has been at the huddles and walking around, so not too serious. Of course, they had 2 injuries at AFL level last night as well. The Pies with Harry Perriman with a hamstring and Jeremy Howe undergoing surgery on a fractured arm. So a couple of vacancies at AFL level, and Craig McRae and Match Committee have got plenty to choose from.
Indeed.
From what they've seen in that third term. Oscar Falkhead drives it inside the 50. Kolodjasny intercepts once more.
He's grown into the game, Kolodjasny. 10 disposals, couple of intercept marks. He's only really insurance at this stage, but you still want those type of players playing good footy.
Hoffman combines with Nevitt and pops it over the top to Bowes. Continues to run, does Lennox Hoffman. Drives it really deep. It's bashed away from Panisi. Through for a minor score.
Like Hoffman, he runs and guns and carries the ball quite well. He kicks, looks like he kicks the ball well as well. His drop punts are true, they don't float. So a bit to work with there for the Cats as well.
32 points the margin. Just the 3 behinds in that term. Third quarter for Geelong.
Nice.
That's a beautiful kick into the centre.
31 for Swadley now.
Yep, he's been excellent again for the Pies. Craig McRae said that they want him in the team. They might not be able to leave him out after this performance. Sullivan has also been tremendous. Had a brilliant first half. Now off to Gray, who's already gone long once. Strides through the 50 and gives them another one to cut up for the highlight reel.
Beautiful. Again, just holding his width on the wing. Played halfback and wing all evening. And it was Sullivan who saw him again. A cough up there. Sullivan with great vision. Gray holding his width, and that's why the wing can be a great place to play and also a tough place to play, depending on whether the ball makes its way out to you, and it did on that occasion, and Gray did the rest.
And I do think Jack Buller, just for a split second, might have thought, do I go for the mark? And then he just thought better of it.
It's easy to come up with an excuse that you're not sure where you are and put the hands up and mark it.
Saw Kitty Coleman do that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, even if you're right in the middle of the big sticks, just so I wasn't sure.
Especially the big fella, you can lose your bearings pretty easily.
2 for Gray. It's a 38-point lead for Collingwood. They have got the last 10 goals in the game. Trailed by 20 points late in the second term. There's been an unbelievable shift in this contest. And it continues to be one-way traffic. Di Mattia made it difficult for Buller. Phillips spins through a tackle. Sullivan just continues to keep the legs moving. Landy throws it on the boot. Can't get the miracle roll.
Even that nearly worked. That was a handoff, an NFL-style handoff that almost made its way through. But I would just wonder whether the rest of the VFL competition is just sitting back and having a look at the way Collingwood have dismantled the Cats in the second half. So clearly, they're not invincible.
Their only loss against Footscray back in round 4, Geelong. 12 wins on the bounce. They've already stitched up the minor premiership. They've been flaunting that on the big screen throughout the evening. But they have stopped to a crawl in this second half. Panisi trying to get something going. It's a clever kick inside 50, and Hunter Holmes stands strong.
A good mark. It is going to be a tough way to kick a score, as Holmes is just considering do what Big Brother would do. He would not be passing this off, so follow suit. Might not have quite the power that Max has. Still a dynamic athlete. Good contested mark, good concentration, and safe to say, probably too little too late, but the Cats could do with it.
6 goals, 10 on the season for young Hunter. He strikes that, and it is there. First goal of the second half for Geelong, not before time. It comes through Hunter Holmes, and it cuts that deficit back to 33.
Not quite as smooth by foot as the old number 22, Mitch Duncan, but it was effective. It got the job done. And again, though, you see here, Panisi has to step back inside because there's no trust. There's no long, tall target to kick to. There's no one at the top of the goal square. Even a Buller who hasn't had a massive game, when a Projaski's there, if you need to kick long and strong to get a contest, the Cats just don't have anyone like that. So they get the job done by stepping back inside, but it's just not an easy way to go about your business offensively.
There's more of a speculative kick inside rather than a pinpoint pass.
Second half domination for the Pies. 9 goals to 1. Sullivan kicks as far as he can. Kolajasny has been excellent. As JJ said earlier, he's really grown into the game. That's his 5th intercept mark. Caperon's got 8 back there. Jacob Ryan with 4 at the other end for the Pies. Brown's got really busy in this second half. Sullivan gets run down by Stevens.
It's been an unassuming 27, 10 clearances and 1 goal, 1 from Stevens. It's not like you'd suggest he's lit the game up. unlike a Lockie Sullivan, who's 28, and a goal that's been really outstanding.
9 tackles as well for George Stevens. Doing all the hard stuff.
It's a huge stat line he's actually had.
Chance here for Wiedemann. Flares it inside the 50. Nice gather from Mason Williams. Bowes bounces it out wide. Holmes shakes off Di Mattia. Never. Burke on the edge of the 50. Slung as he kicked. Got it away. Got the carry. And the mark is paid. Jay Rantel against his former team. Can try and stick another one through and give it back-to-back goals for Geelong.
Well, if they've got any designs on any type of miraculous comeback, they're not going to be able to waste chances. We saw the Pies miss a couple, kick 2 goals 6 in the last quarter last night and snuff out their own chances. The Cats will have to be perfect.
And that kick is perfect. So it's a long journey back. But a couple of steps in the right direction for the Cats with back-to-back goals. And they cut back into that margin. It's now 27.
It's certainly the scoring end, no doubt about it. It's bizarre how that works so often in games of footy, how perfectly still night. Especially for some reason, one end's more favourable than the other.
Collingwood have gone back to their over-handballing, though, in this quarter. The third quarter, when they absolutely dominated, they were kicking the ball much more than handballing. Now they've gone to more handballs than kicks again.
Geelong have been able to ramp up that pressure. First time they've had back-to-back goals since the early part of the second term, the Cats, when they kicked 3 in a row. Helped them break open that 20-point gap. Pies led by as many as 39. It's now at 27. Another look for the Cats. Off hands. Mellor's there. Throwing his head over the footy is Lewis. Parker tried to emerge. He got legged on the way up. Oh, and he played on dangerously. Almost had the kick smothered. Holmes is there on the exit for Geelong. Tries to showcase the family speed. Bowes into the pocket. Now a chance for Zach Stevens. Goes to ground, holding the ball.
Good tackle, had to be, certainly took them on, and rock solid tackle. Bit of a blood rule, might have just copped.
Yeah, he and Cochrane have got tangled up in all of that.
Yeah, that's a bit nasty.
Stevens is sore, and then Cochrane's got a fair old gash to the side of the head.
Not a lot of sympathy from the umpire either, but it is a nasty gash there for Cochrane, so...
Just might have got Cochrane with the elbow.
Yeah, just
the way down.
Nothing untoward in it at all.
Played a pretty handy game back there, Joel Cochrane. The 13 disposals, only the 1 mark, but involved in a lot of aerial contest, particularly with Ballantyne in that first half. Second-year Pie, former Swans Academy member, makes his way off the ground. We get back underway. Rowan Steele can't keep it alive. Stevens just trying to shake off that soreness. A bit of a size mismatch between he and Noah Howes inside 50 now for the Cats. Coe and Pike. Coe with the big round arm out of the ruck. Socket forward by Di Mattia. Thrown onto the footy. Kolajasny back there. Handball back to Hart. Last link in the chain was Caperon. Now Gunser. The Ballarat product. Overcooked the kick. Straight to Landy. Landy to full forward. And Marnie can try and stick through his third. Push that margin back beyond 5 goals.
Yeah, they'll cost you those types of turnovers. Unforced error, just missed the lateral leading player, and very hard, in fact, impossible to defend those types of turnovers.
Back-to-back goals at the other end for the Cats. Max Marnie finds the answer for Collingwood. And if Geelong can muster a challenge, It feels like Collingwood are more than up for it.
First number 77 that I can recall kicking 3 goals at GMHBA Stadium, Goldie.
Yeah, my knowledge of GMHBA Stadium and the numbers, don't go that deep.
And that's not in my personal archive.
No.
Number 88 for Essendon, never kicked 3 goals.
81.
81.
Come on. Bendigo, I think we'll call too.
Mighty Bendigo Bombers.
Rip off the Bendigo Bombers, yeah.
Mighty Bendigo Bombers, the more successful of the Bendigo VFL franchises over the journey, because the Diggers and the Gold were absolute garbage.
Yeah, Bendigo Gold. There's a blast from the past. But Marnie looks good. I like his movement. Now, that was an easy one that he got on the end of. But he's sharp inside 50. He's shown a really clean pair of hands a couple of times in the game. And he's got the 3 goals to his name now.
Straight to the bench after kicking the goal, JJ.
First time it's happened for the game.
Set mark for the Cats. Hart starts the chain back the other way. Got to happen at least once every game. Holmes inside forward 50. Mellor had 2 flying against him. He tried to hold his body position, and Ryan got a fist on it to the boundary.
It's interesting the contrast, Goldie, between their AFL and VFL teams. The Pies, how they want to move the ball. Last night, when they looked good, they were kicking the ball through the middle part of the ground, whereas Collingwood at different stages have been handball happy.
I think that just comes from the experience of the 2 sides as well. A lot younger players feeling the pressure from Geelong.
Quick kick on goal, and Brady Gray has just got back there in the nick of time.
The ultimate winger. Get forward and get back, and tell you what, reward yourself with a kick in. Why don't you?
Bowes couldn't sneak that one through for another on his evening. Long kick out of defence from Gray. It'll be a free kick to Collingwood. Lex, we saw Joel Cochran maybe walking into the rooms.
He certainly did. He went past me with a nice cut on his head. Looks like he'll go get stitches, and he'll be back shortly.
Thanks, Lex. He's been good today. There's Joel Cochran, involved in that incident with Zach Stevens a couple of moments ago. Putting a distance on the gallop from Hoffman across half-back. Umpire waved it on. And Gray intercepts. Back the other way for Saxena. What's he got inside the 50? He's got Hayes in some space. It'll take a fair old kick to get it to him. He's going to look deeper than that. Di Mattia flies against 3 Cats. Padaski at ground level. Forced out of his hands by Bowes, and then Caperon taken high by Di Mattia.
Just lent into that. Caperon, just the slight lowering of the body height.
Shoots it short to Rantel. Cuts it up the middle aggressively. Cut out by Teakle. Slapped on by Brown. Really nice hands from Hayes to Swadling. A bullet to the pocket. And Marnie's back on the ground. And a chance for his 4th.
Sharp from Swadling. Absolute laser, a bullet. Just flushed it. Just really punched it and got it to Marnie quickly. And oh, he snapped the last one. I thought he might have stepped around and trusted the round the quarter snap, but happy enough with the drop punt, and he'll be happy with 4 heading back down the highway.
Kicked 5 a couple of weeks ago against the Kangaroos. Max Marnie, can he straighten up here? Just left it the wrong side of the post. It does bring up the ton for Collingwood, which we thought might have happened the other way. Turnover off the kick in. Hayes picks it off, pops it over the top, and Padaski punts that one as far as he can.
Kicked it into my backyard. Not sure why he felt the need to do that, but you do you. Up over the net.
Just hopefully the kids get a new share in JJ.
Oh, they're worth a couple $100 these days, so reasonable result. But up into the Joel Selwood stand now. Jed Hughes, I think he's just lost concentration there. The veteran, premiership player, just took his eyes off the footy, and Jack Buller put a couple of hard strides in just in case Podjaski was happy to give him the footy, but...
Can't say footy in that shot, can you?
No. Joel will be happy with shown the grandstand. Usually you got to wait 20 years until you get a grandstand named after you, but
he waited 20 minutes.
He was barely stopped sweating.
39-point lead to the Pies.
He would have still been taking all his tape off, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he still had the eyebrow stitched up. 59-point swing in the game since they trailed by 20 points deep in the second term. There you go, 11 goals to 2 in the second half. And a lovely layoff kick from Hayes, and Padaski, having had a quiet first half, is now lining up for his third.
Interesting to see how Mark Corrigan and the Cats coaches deal with this game. They've been so good all year. And you get to this point, you've only lost the one game. You've earned a fair few credits, I would have thought, but it's been a really devastating turn of events against them in this second half.
Pies are trying to take this one wide. They haven't led by more than 39. 2 goals for Padaski. Trying to get within 1 of Corey Allison at the top of the Frosty Miller medal. He does just that. He's closing in as leading goal kicker. And the Pies are closing in on what will be a very well-earned victory.
You'd think they'd take this as a bit of an aberration, take the mulligan and move on. I'd imagine with a week off next week and only the one more game to go. I think this might be that time just to sharpen the tools up a little bit.
All right, question for you, Goldie. 1 game to go at AFL and VFL level, let's say. If you're Padaski, are you looking to stay at VFL level and win the Frosty Miller? Or are you saying, no, I want to go and play one more AFL game?
Well, look at me. I've never been the goal kicking anywhere near the leaderboard, so I probably would stay down. But I think he's worked so hard to get his opportunity. I don't think he'll be saying no to an AFL game.
Corey Allison in action later tonight to try and put some distance back into that leaderboard. DeConing inside forward 50 for the Cats. Padaski with 3, as you saw, closing within 1. Falkhead runs past it for the Pies. Slipping through Williams. Burke. Mellor. He got dealt with after he took the mark. And Illaru Smith's given away 50.
And he's not too worried about it. Makes his presence felt. Doesn't bother to go and stand the mark.
Jesse Mellor, who really bounced into this game. He's been quiet since. He walks that one in. And hands the Cats one back.
A good shell shock. The Cats can't really believe what's hit them, and no doubt about the 50. Late contact, front on contact, and certainly deserved to be 50 metres. Yeah, nothing in it, nothing untoward in it. Mellor, who did start the game brightly, set a goal up and kicked one himself and was very, very lively. Geelong fans are still up for the fight, so it's good to see. 35 this season for Jesse Mellor. It's a good return. Yep. Really good return.
Especially with Mollier up front. He's had Polkinghorn up there, Wiltshire at different times as well. They had plenty of talent inside forward 50 at VFL level throughout the course of the season, the Cats. Rory Gunser nurses his kick around the body. Panisi back through the middle. Nevitt, disposal number 24. Shallow-ish entry. Going past it was Teakle. And Joe Pike stood his ground.
Yeah, good mark, good body work from the big fella. More of a ruckman, or certainly a developing ruckman. But if you can just perhaps show from time to time, you can play forward, it's handy.
Pretty nice looking approach from Big Joe. He makes light work of it. 9th goal of the season. And brings the Cats back to 33 behind. Taken in the rookie draft a couple of seasons ago. Local product out of Ocean Grove. Bowen Head's way.
The Seagull, was he? Bowen Head Seagull?
Yeah, I think so.
We get down and support the Seagulls from time to time.
Beautiful part of the world.
It is.
Absolutely
always
stunning.
Super windy and super cold.
Some decent players have come out of there, though.
Why don't you just go there in summer? It might not be super windy and super
Too
cold.
busy. It's like Burke Street.
DeConing's going to do it himself here. Kicks inside 50. Mellor made Woden earn it. And the tackle is laid and stuck. So a couple of late ones here for Geelong. Just a reminder, if you're just joining us, getting ready to tune in for Freo and the Western Bulldogs on Friday Night Footy here on Fox. The Cats led by 20 points. They are 15-1. They have won 12 games in a row. They were 20 points up late in the second term. And before the most recent 2 goals, Collingwood led by 45 points. A stunning turnaround in this game. An 8-0 third quarter the way of the Pies. And it has left the Cats flat on their back. Geelong with just the 1 game to come in the season against North Melbourne. That's in a couple of weeks' time. Collingwood have got Essendon, who've also been in good form recently, and Port Melbourne, who are in one of those wild card spots right at the bottom end of it in the Joe Pignataro logjam as we stand. Free kick to Mitch Nevitt, who overcooks that one. It bounces its way through to Buse. Sends it to the pocket. Lewis got 2 hands up. Couldn't mark. And Parker is dragged down. Hasn't been an easy night for big Tanner Lewis, man out of Warraneen.
Yes. Is he a Warraneen man, is he?
Yes, originally. The mighty Tigers up there in the Central Murray League.
His dad used to run the most prolific drive-through coffee shop in the world up there in Swan Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's Joe Pike, having kicked the last. That one's not quite as astute a finish.
But you didn't know that.
I absolutely did not know.
I was looking at goal.
I had no idea.
It's sort of mild levels of concern if I did know that, I reckon.
But good to know if I'm ever
Did you give him a bit of business over the journey?
Oh, yeah.
Still running, or is it?
I don't want to speak out of school. I think sold it and then reopened one in a different part of Swan Hill.
Okay, good to know. Just if I'm ever out that way,
sell at the top of your game and divest the interest.
Next door, was it?
Yeah, very smart. Drive-through coffee, who'd have thought?
32-point lead to Collingwood. 7th time they've gone into triple figures this season. They've done it in their past 3 games and now 4 of their past 5. So Matt Loken told Alexia at 3/4 time that their last month of footy's been really solid. The numbers bear that out. They've been intercepting really well in that time as well. Across their last 5 games, they're the number 2 intercept team in the competition. So they are putting together a nice run of form. As we've seen the Fox Footy's own team at VFL level, Essendon, we've seen them every week over the past month, and they were putting together a nice run of form as well, and Collingwood are matching that. Essendon with the bye this week, so unfortunately for Cam Joyce and the troops, there won't be a win courtesy of a Fox Footy broadcast, as Panisi can't curl that one home.
Yeah, they'll just have to stew on this. The Cats have got the bye next week and then a clash with North Melbourne to finish off their regular season.
31 points the margin. Coe just got the knee into the back of De Koning, and Sam didn't look all that thrilled with it. Don't need that at the 27-minute mark.
Definitely not what he was hoping for.
That's not going to be comfy in the car ride home. Swadling goes off the ground, so 38 for Sam Swadling. Right up with his best performances of the season at VFL level. All-Australian under-18 last year. He's had a few prolific games on this season. Had 40 against the Swans at Tramway a few weeks ago. From the boundary line, Holmes across the face. Parker just went for the booty bump on Zach Stevens and cleared the space. Used the backside nicely and left Zach Stevens in his wake. He's had a rough last quarter.
Yeah, well, it's the race to 40 between Bose and Swadling. Swadling 38, as you mentioned, and Bose is on 39. What a feeling that must be to get 40.
not highly relatable for a lot of us. The 255s have gone into battle there, and
not at all relatable.
Gray's given away the free.
Usually take us about 5 or 6 weeks to get to the 40 total.
Yeah, sometimes 8 weeks.
Rantel comes in and tries to jag a late one for the Cats. The second time that Jack Bowes has gone to 40 if you can get there this season. Did it against Brisbane back in round 8. 30-point advantage. A 50-point turnaround in the game from Geelong's biggest lead of 20 points. It's been a masterclass from the Magpies here in this second half. And this Geelong team that looked infallible has been brought back down to earth in a big way. Kolajasny with another intercept mark. 6 on the evening for him. Driscoll scoots through the middle. Brought to a stop. Eyes up inside the 50. And here is Tanner Lewis. There you see on the scoreboard, the minor premiers, the Geelong Cats. They're still rolling with it.
I think they're doing it to pump themselves back up now, but 14 intercept marks between Caprion and Kolajasny. You'd be thinking you'd be in a pretty good position.
Lewis has given it a good ride. Just didn't get there in the end, didn't have quite enough juice on it. In fact, it was through for a minor score. Umpire's call coming a little bit late. The Pies, as we said, Essendon next week. And then Port Melbourne. So a tough run home for the Pies. But in this kind of form, when you've just come off demolishing the ladder leaders in the second half, it's going to be a couple of interesting contests. Swaddling to 39. Bowes has now got 40. See if Sam Swaddling can get a little cheap one here. He'll take his tally to put a 4 in front of it. Brown, Falkhead on the dash. Maybe one more for the road here. Padaski wants it. It'll bounce all the way back there. Kolajasny tracks it down. Kick will be 2 wide. Umpire says it's okay. George Stevens right on the chalk. De Koning's first VFL game since 2024 in a semi-final. Won't result in a win. Pike's got options streaming back toward goal. And Bowes will finish with another monster stat line. It won't finish in a win for the Cats, though. That second half dominance from Collingwood. Jack Bowes looking for his 41st disposal and to finish with his second goal. It has been an immense performance from him, but ultimately not enough. 29 points before the kick. Bowes to finish it off. Misses to the right. And Collingwood brings Geelong's 12-game winning run to an end. The Magpies hit the road and topple the minor premiers with a stunning second half and a 28-point victory.
Hard to believe. If we weren't here, we might not actually believe the big turnaround in the contest. I mean, partly because you know how strong the Cats have been across the season, but also the way in which the first half was played. We didn't feel like we were that far away from the Cats blowing the Pies away in the first half, and well, the game was just completely upended in the second half.
Extraordinary second half from Collingwood. That was quite the turnaround. A 28-point win. Let's get some reaction to West Australians in very good form. Alexia Pesce and Sam Swaddling.
Indeed, in very good form. 39 touches for you. That must feel good to humble the Cats.
No, it was awesome. The whole team believed we're a different side when we versed them back in whatever it was early in the year, and yeah, we came out and showed them.
And just on your own form, I mean, you're in fine form at the moment. The AFL side loses a few to injury. Where do you see yourself going at the moment?
Oh, no, I think I'm going okay for my first year. I think a lot of coaches and a lot of senior boys are just, really guiding me through the year and, helping me, get better at my craft. So whether it's AFL, VFL, I'm just enjoying my footy.
Now, I know you probably don't listen to Craig McRae's press conferences during the week, but he said you are a man they want in their side. What has he told you at the moment?
Nah, he's just said, mate, play to your strengths, keep backing yourself in. I think, as I said before, whether it's AFL, VFL, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm loving it.
We're in fine form. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He is indeed. Another great performance from him tonight. And if anyone needed to put their hand up, it was him to try and earn that recall. And Goldie, he probably couldn't have made a much stronger case.
No, it's when the coach is naming you in his press conferences, you want to really stand up and give yourself that chance, and he's done it at both levels now. At AFL, he's been very impressive, and when he comes down to VFL, he can't do any more than 39 disposals and 11 score involvements. 9
clearances, 6 inside 50s, a pretty complete game. So Essendon and Port Melbourne, the last